To have your say. You get to vote every day from 11 to 1:50 for your favorite tickers. Neil and Sean, they're locked in at the big desk. They're ready to look at the stocks that you want. But first, let's have a look at the futures. As you can see, very sideways today. There were a lot of movers. There was strong Amazon. Tesla got going midday as well. But you had the likes of Apple and these other names that were awfully consolidative. Nvidia chief among them. We'll get to that one in a sec. But this is what everybody wants to talk about. GameStop getting that big move midday on the back of news that Roaring Kitty will be doing a live tomorrow on YouTube at 12, and that had everybody talking, guys. What is the look on GameStop?
All right, 12 o'clock. Yeah,
Madness is what the look is.
Okay, that should be exciting. That should be exciting.
Madness, this is GameStop. That's what it is. I can't. The level of FOMO I have over GameStop is it's high because whatever. It is what it is. The chart's going to speak for itself. I have my hand. I'm that guy today. This is like at that 35 level. I was in, I was out, I was scalping. I'm like, oh yeah, this is scalping. You're getting all the dips you want. And then I got this fill right in here, and that was at 35.65. You got to really squint to be able to see it. It went to $44. All you got to do is say you're live streaming, and apparently you're going ham. And the kicker for all of this is they just said we're going to investigate for manipulation. Who cares? I'm doing a live stream and we're going streaking to the moon. That being said, you're going to see that I'm short BlackBerry because obviously, all I'm going to say is this. When GameStop halted down, this you could do. You can't even make this crap up. Like GameStop literally turned on and went nasty to the downside, and you could short like, I had it at 90. I was able to get more at like 91 on the top side when GameStop went into a halt. So I'm sitting in this one off of VWAP. I did try a scalp trade off the halt level at 42, which I feel like is a bit of a thing in the other direction, but it couldn't get through 43. So, the other thing is for anyone at Real Trading, if you have the Frex key, I just learned this today, that routing key, you don't want to be using it when you have these parabolic movers, especially if it's going into halt bands. Yeah, it can get stuck. It's just the way that it works, and it's a Frex thing, and all the other gateways are fine. If you're at Real Trading, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's going ham. It's insane. It's GameStop. The 38 level, I guess if we're talking about where this got insane, this was the 38.40 area the other day on the gap up when he disclosed the position. And I think this is where the support feels like it's trying to come in. It's between like $38 and $40, and that's where things died earlier. So I guess there's some logic there as to what level is holding, but I don't want to hold on to logic too much with this stock.
So we're going to talk about Nvidia after. We had obviously a monster trade. We're trying to get out of SMH now as we continue to hold on for this one. But yeah, GameStop is not stopping. So, I mean, that dip buy into there, I think you could just watch this 50-period moving average, but here we go. I mean, it's going to be another day tomorrow. If you've made money today, great. If you're thinking about holding on to it, I think that that's great also. If you want to get flat and wait to see what tomorrow brings, amazing. Up 30%. It was our trade of the week back at the beginning of the week. Fell right back into some support at 25, 26, and now you're all the way to $41. You got Dave Portnoy, you've got Roaring Kitty, you've got Adara, you've got all of these people talking all about GameStop, and I mean, it is making that move one more time today. So, hey, look, feel like it's going to halt one more time. I mean, we just got two back-to-back halts there. First one did activate it back up to 44. Second one actually kind of opened pretty flat, found a level of 40, and went back to 42. So, I mean, you know, that move down into 39 is something. But again, if you're holding for $1 winners, you got to be holding for $1 losers. I mean, or somewhere near there. So GameStop continues to be that name. I mean, whether or not we take the long, breaking through 42 has to break first. 42.30 looks like a pretty good level right there on the 1-minute chart. So if we break through there, you can use maybe 42 as your bottom, and I think that that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, so far so good here. Almost $1 in the money on this SMH short. We'll talk about this up next.
Some profit taking today, definitely on Nvidia after hitting all-time highs yesterday. Record close. No real catalyst today for Nvidia, but it was definitely on the way down. A little bit weaker. I know somebody on the big desk here had a $30 winner. Tell us all about it, Sean.
It was 40, but yeah, we only got 30 on it. So at the end of the day here, Nvidia was just a really, really big First of all, we're starting to head to the downside right now on these futures. So there it is right now. Let's go over to the SMH right here. We are currently in this position. It is now $1 in the money. It just wicked down into here into 22s or so, but SMH continuing to fly. And we went over, I'm gonna put another bid here, just to punch out. Let's get something out at 27. Oh yeah, props up on that one. Man, what a different day we're having now after this move on NVIDIA. So we lost enough money trying to chase this. We early had a $13, $15 winner. We bought the pre-market lows, and we were really patient and waited for that. We sort of built that out and how that was working. But there it is, right into the pre-market, and here's those love. But then it broke $12.50, and we love that as well. We got $4 or $5. But as it came back, we started to get out of that trade, and it was not holding, and it was a violent move all the way down. Thankfully, we were able to get out at 12.40 and 12.45, but the damage, wow, this SMH is doing well now. The damage had already been done. Then we tested 1200. That broke as well. Tested the short, did not get it. Got it 1 and 1. So that was about flat. So we were down on NVIDIA. Then all of a sudden, we got a double touch there at VWAP. That was 12.23. This happened live on the show. We thought we were doing pretty good getting out for 10 bucks. Then it went all the way down to 12.06 into this area, 50-period moving average. Then it absolutely crashed, and we had tweeted out 11.85. Well, it hit that a couple times, and we should have took it. But then on the way back up, as it broke through the 50-period, and this little shelf right there at 11.92, we covered. So 12.23. They're $11.92, so yeah, $31 at the end of it all, but it was 40. It did touch 11.83, which matched basically that bottom to the T. So feeling a little silly that we didn't have that bid there, but we thought we were going lower, and we'd even put that in the chat, that it was up to everybody, but our initial thought was here, could have took it, didn't, and look what's happening right now. There's another 200-period double touch. So, I mean, nice move back in for NVIDIA. The market's trying to come in, and we have the short here on SMH, and we had to fight.
GameStop's halting down.
GameStop's halting down. Okay, so we'll just interrupt all this because that's important. Okay, yeah, GameStop's halting big time to the downside right now. Is it worth getting some shares short if you're able to? Probably, but how do you exactly do that?
Nope, didn't
No,
get it.
so we did not get any halt shares there on that either. So there's GameStop attempting and now halted at 38.70. Clip it for that one because it is a nice move. Downside there for GameStop finally finding its way. But SMH, VWAP trade, same thing. We're trying to find stocks at VWAP, SMH, nice downside push. Is what it is, but we're $1 in the money on that one. And then GameStop, yuck. Did you get short?
No, I didn't get it. Just
all right.
I want to leave the order out there because whatever. It's
No,
yeah. So,
no.
anyways, try to get there really fast. But I was looking at we're talking about Nvidia. I wasn't on the level 2. If you're trading and you're on the level 2 and you're trying to get the halt trade, you got to get right to it. Here, I'll just quickly show you guys the chart. Something smells delicious. Who's eating? It's that jerk chicken.
Oh, she's got the jerk chicken going on.
So the halt is at.
Which is not spicy at all, by the way.
No, but it was delicious. I had a piece.
Adara, can I get a jerk chicken?
38.7. 38.7 is the halt price. Because it's New York, we actually don't get updates on the tap. So when it opens on NASDAQ stocks. We'll be able to usually tell you. What we can do is always just look at what the open interest is. So right now, it's indicating 140,000 to the sell side. So we can look. It's not giving us a tap. It basically the auction value is where it closed, but it's 180,000 to sell. I know that's not a big number, but it was only 120 the last time, and it opened initially down off of this halt. It opened initially down, so we'll see what happens there. I'm only in BlackBerry. Nvidia, as good as yesterday was, I should say. I had some winning trades on Nvidia, but it all amounts to basically flat.
7, I think.
Like I had a breakout. If that breakout failed, was up on it there, then reloaded and lost, and actually made money on that trade, then made money there, and then lost and lost. So it's like I'm literally flat on the stock. And I had this trend line that if it doesn't break the trend, it feels like it could have caught a little bit of a bid there. But
I have an update.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know what's going on with GME when it does open. Wow, I can't believe as quickly as that came up, right back at the 38 level. Unbelievable, that stock.
I have an update about the jerk chicken.
Wow,
So Adara had it. So at first, enters, right? And then she was like 5, 5.5, 6. Then I saw the reach for the water. And then it went to 6.5. And I think we're getting about a 7. What are you thinking, Adara? 7? 8?
An 8?
8 out of 10 on that? What?
Oh,
What are they doing in Winnipeg? Like my
Patty
kids, my kids would eat that and say, "Where's the spice?"
it's a one. Big Patty Ice brought some hot sauce.
Right.
Where is
Okay.
he?
Right.
Oh, right. Do you still have it? I'll taste.
Adair, do they have jerk chicken in
I'll do a
Winnipeg?
spoon live of his hot. He got some real hot
Yeah.
sauce.
I mean,
Well, he's busy. He's busy. He's probably trading GameStop. But
no, don't punch out of anything. What are you,
don't
ridiculous?
Punch out. I will.
Who cares if Neil wants a hot
I
sauce?
will go when we get a
Yeah.
chance. We got Frank on here.
Who
It's all-
cares? Yeah, we got consolidation. That's exactly what I'm trying to talk about. BPI, man. There's a couple ones around here, but we really like
These good people.
Patty Ice there. So.
Good people.
All right, let's go over and talk about what? AMD. Okay. Let's go talk about another chip name. Why not?
I told Adara, it's either milk or bread, not water for that hot stuff, but give that a try. AMD, NVIDIA's little cousin, next on the board, and that's exactly how tech investor Paul Meeks feels about it. He feels that they're going to get some of the GPU hype that NVIDIA is obviously feeding off right now. Kind of a decent day for AMD today, about 0.75% in the green. Did you guys have a look at this one?
AMD, why look at that? No, I didn't trade it today, thank goodness. I'll be happy that I didn't trade it today because I feel like there would have been a lot of bamboozlement on this stock, at least for me, because when Nvidia was flushing and doing all that good stuff, like look at the move that went up in AMD, and then it didn't follow through breaking lows. So these are not real wicks, these are like dark pool wicks in there. So all it did is hold higher lows when Nvidia was getting crushed. That would lead me to believe when the market's at the bottom, AMD could be along this afternoon. If we bounce off these lows, like why wouldn't AMD be along? So from the 15-minute to this little VWAP bounce, I'm not completely convinced the market is going to hold these lows, but if we can, I think you look for higher lows off of VWAP. It's a weird one because it's hard to look at that move on Nvidia and expect to see AMD putting in higher lows when Nvidia is down there. Is what it is though. So I'll be looking for VWAP bounces, but only if the futures hold this bottom. Watch out. Apple is trying to bounce off 195. Apple has gone red and trying to bounce off a key 95 level.
Yeah, so AMD, my whole day is basically this AMD. So what we're down on AMD is basically what we're down this today. And we're down because we just kept shorting this and didn't believe it. We had the short early and it was fantastic. I mean, we were doing real well. Shorting 165, 165.50 as NVIDIA really started to break down. But then as NVIDIA was still kind of breaking down, AMD said, no, hold your horses on this one. And it's actually green now. So we fought it all the way up. We fought it into the pre-market highs, which is normally a spot that we really like. I don't think I violated any of the rules other than standing in front of a trending stock. But you can't just keep on sitting in front of a trending stock and taking the short over and over and over again. So eventually we stopped. GameStop is now open, so let's go have a quick look at what it's doing. So here goes GameStop, now open and yeah, willing to dance a little bit here. So I'm just gonna adjust my shares and see what happens here for GameStop. So nice move back in, VWAP down here at 36, could be a nice little level. We don't want to halt again, do we? No, we do not. So a break higher above like 39, that last halt area, 38.70, would do it for me, but that's got to be almost 39 bucks. Breaking higher on GameStop, I think that would be the punch long, but it is retracing pretty good here. I
mean, it is VWAP, so 37 could hold. I don't know. I'm looking for a bounce play in this thing, but like, yeah, it looks like it could go another down halt. That stinks. It's more fun if it was bouncing higher.
Palantir up 3 1/3 ahead of its AAPL event next week. Make sure to catch that. We've seen them sign multiple new contracts this year, mostly with government contracts. They are trying to expand into that commercial space, and that's what I'll be looking to hear from their conference event. Palantir, as I said, up 3 1/3, pulling back a little bit right now, guys. Did you have a look at Palantir?
Yeah, we had, so
that's Palantir.
I was still trying to. Yeah, I'm not even focused right now on Palantir because I was just thinking about GameStop. Again, it just basically bounced off VWAP, so it didn't exactly get to that 36, but we were pretty foolish by not taking something there, I feel like. So I'm going to try to get something here at I can't even get 38s. We'll see if we, I try to get a 38 pullback there. We're bidding 38.05. I don't really know why it matters what exact penny that we're bidding. It doesn't. All right, I mean, let's just punch a little bit higher then. All right, we'll take it right now, of course, as it comes back in. I do want to still go back down into 37 and change, see if we can get that, and then use basically 36.50 as our stop. So I'm long now, excuse me, into GameStop. And yeah, I guess giddy up, and we'll see what winds up happening here with GameStop. But we are now long at 21s here on GME with a lower bid at 37 and change, because I mean I want that fill. So if it comes back in, let's get it to us. We should have had it a little bit earlier. Right now, 30 cents in the money. All right. So what I was getting at there with Palantir before we got sidelined a little bit there was, look, Hood long. I mean, come on. I don't even know if Hood's on that list. I didn't even look. Right now, by the way, we're 70 cents in the money on that GameStop, and we missed it. NVIDIA long, well, you saw that 1,200 long. I mean, that was, can't believe it even came through there. Palantir long as well. So we only had 4 or 5 ideas, and Palantir was one of them. First of all, GameStop is really, now we're almost $1 in the money right now on GameStop, and we just took this trade. So let's see how far we can go back up right now. Let's go GameStop. Here we go, man. I mean, let's just keep on riding with that bull as we go. Upside on GME, we joined the club with that one. Yeah, Palantir, great trade early, just didn't have it. I mean, we were looking at NVIDIA, too many other things. Huge trade, awesome name. Look at it hold the 200 period. Love you long time, Palantir. You're not going anywhere in my portfolio. Dollar in the money short SMH. Dollar, look, we've got 2 damn trades on, both dollar clubs right now, and still trying to make a little bit more on this. As there goes GME, man, we are now ripping to the high side. We just bounced off 40. That was almost $2 in the money on GME. So, hey, we're here for you. Whether or not you're trading NVIDIA, GME, Palantir, Robinhood, we're here, ETFs. Neil, what you got?
Well, first of all, with that move up in GameStop, I'm now going to punch out if BlackBerry breaks VWAP. If I'm playing a sympathy play, if it ramps to the upside again, like, you got to keep in mind, if you're playing a sympathy play like this, it goes up because GameStop goes up, it comes down because GameStop comes down, but this whole thing started at 78. I was going to cover it in front of the low anyways. If we take out VWAP again, I'm just out. I've moved the trailing stop in there. So that's the first part. I was trying to get VWAP as well, but I'm not going to be in it. So Palantir, the only thing I'll say for Palantir is on the higher time frame look. You know, it's obviously a great looking chart. It's broken yada, 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 the 50 period and all that good stuff. It is a very, very clean trend line this afternoon. So there is Palantir. It's a steep trend line. I think as long as it holds this and the market ain't dying, then you can look for long. But if the market does consolidate under, like you look at this, if we actually consolidate under and break to the downside, this feels like it can be shorted underneath 50. But it's got to break that trend. I'm just going to hit save so that I actually keep that line in there. Because in P Pro 8, you don't hit the save button, your fancy lines don't stay on your chart. So I got eyeballs on Palantir, but it's a very steep trend line. As long as it holds, I think the long is good here for PLTR.
Salesforce next on the list was trading up a lot higher this morning on the back of news that Value Act Holdings bought 428,000 shares of the client relations management company. As you can see, though, selling off well off highs today as the market in general retraces, guys. What is the look on CRM?
I mean, yuck after, like, it's basically been pulling all the way back in. The good news for Salesforce, here's another crazy wick here, is if you look at the actual gap down on earnings, there's the gap down. There is the highest level it reached, which was 2 days ago. That is 240 and change. That's pretty much exactly where it's bouncing on this pullback. So it broke out that 240. Now in the dip, it's pulling right back in and bouncing off of 240. So the look would be, hey, this is the right level for it to be a bit of a bounce. The market's actually starting to go. I hadn't looked at it till it got on this list. So I hadn't even thought about this stock today. GameStop was the only thing that was really this afternoon when it started moving. That's all we really looked at was GameStop and BlackBerry. But CRM, it's pulling back into the right level. I hate the fact that it did that dip in the first place, giving up those gains, but there were some concerns after earnings. So if it can hold 240, I think it could be a long into VWAP here. But I have a sneaking suspicion that not that many people are going to be interested in trading CRM this afternoon. And I can't pretend that I'm one of them.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at it. I just put an offer of GameStop up here at 40. like 41.75. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it won't halt if it gets to there, so we should be able to get up to something like that. And then that would be right before this 42. So let's wait to see what winds up happening right now in and around 41.50 or so here for GME if we get there. I mean, this is something to watch out for. So I don't know exactly where we're going to go with it, but I like the level and I like the stock here with GME. But we're still going to punch out if it breaks through 36. So again, you know, we're going to be here for it. If it hits it, hits it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We're just in this a small little piece. It's our first time being in GameStop off of VWAP. We could have just used our logic there and got out at the 40 again, but we didn't. So at the 50-period moving average, which was $40. So we didn't do that. That might have been irresponsible. Let's see what happens now with GameStop. All right, these are the only two positions we have. So SMH, we really nailed Robinhood earlier today. Unfortunately, you're going to see this out right there when it broke lower, and we got out at the 200 break. But we really nailed this one at the bottom. I was saying to Patrick, like, we should have started buying this up here at 22 when we wrote down 2160 on the sticky note as a level that we were looking at. So that was a little foolish of us to do that. But when it came back in there, we were able to have more confidence because our levels were there. And then it's a nice upside move. And that's just a break of the high break that we didn't want at that time. So I got in and got out. Actually, it was an okay trade as we break the high, but then it came right back in. So we are now out of that. Check in on the big dog. Yeah, 200-period moving average for NVIDIA. I mean, this was that $30 winner. Really put us back in a good mood there. But since then, yeah, I mean, glad we're out of it. Less stress now. But we did get right back into SMH. And I just think that NVIDIA is going to have its day, right? I mean, it could be down another 2% tomorrow. Like, these are slow little dips. That's how I think NVIDIA is going to move. I think just every day people are going to wonder why they didn't sell the day before. And that's just going to create some more selling pressure. Just for now. With NASDAQ, basically, and we talked about this, a SPY and NASDAQ, both at all-time highs pretty much right now. So you're going to get some push and pull on all these names. And I just, you know, when you get nervous, you sort of maybe look to your biggest holding and possibly take a little bit off. We've talked about how much they've added, 12% in a week. I mean, that's huge moves. So I could see some more profit coming through on that, which is why we're holding on to SMH. So SMH, nice short there. We really like this one. I'll short more of it if it can come up. GameStop, let's go. See if we can get back up to the upside right now. Looks like it wants to try 40 again. So let's get through this $40 mark. Again, Roaring Kitty tomorrow. I didn't even know the time.
I don't know what time either.
Mentioned at noon.
Oh, it is?
So I thought that potentially, I actually phoned Marissa about this on my walk, and I was like, man, GameStop's starting to go again. And this is what I talked to my wife about. I know. Thank you for still loving me somehow. But at the end of the day, you know, I said, well, you know what, maybe it's even more manipulation if he starts going on during market hours. But then I thought to myself, you know, I look over at other stations and I just see these guys going on. You know, let's talk about Josh Brown. We talk about it all the time on this show. He's like, I've added to my Pfizer position. And then Pfizer goes up $2 and all of a sudden there's someone selling it up there. I don't know. You know, and it's just like, oh, because he has a business or because CNBC pays him to be on that show? I don't know what exactly the problem is. But Roaring Kitty now trying to do the same thing. So I just, you know, all in all, I just think fairness should be fairness. And I don't know if either one of those things should be allowed. I think they both should be allowed. I mean, as long as you're disclosing what you're doing, then I don't have a problem with anything like that.
Forget about Josh Brown. In a world where those that actually make the laws that govern business are allowed to invest in companies, don't give me this nonsense about a dude in Reddit. What are we even talking about here? What are we talking about? And I don't mean to rant. I know we're not supposed to get political, but what the hell are we even talking about? If you're concerned about that, but you don't give a darn about the people that make the laws are able to do it, like, get out of here. If it breaks 40, I'm going long. There's a really steep trend. Look, trend lines that are this steep, who cares? But when it's going, it's going. So this is, since the top, this is the trend line that it's trying to break. So it's trying to consolidate above this very steep trend line. If we get VWAP, we get VWAP. If it breaks out from here, I want the break. I'm not saying it gets into the high, but I am going to respect it if it takes that 40 level. Let's see if it starts to go. Oh yeah, Apple. I was mentioning 95 in Apple. what the, look at this on Apple. I don't know what just happened on Apple, but it was a big volume candle, probably the biggest since somewhere in the middle of the day at like 10:15. It got through 95 and then right back up. So Apple catching a bit of a bid. It was weak. I think that's probably what turned the market a little bit here. So if we get back down, let's have a look at that 95 level for Apple. It could be a little bit of something. As not sure what caused that move down in. I didn't hear any news. There was some news on Hertz. Let's see if I can even find it. Hertz Mull selling at least 700 million of debt convertibles. So that's not good, and Hertz is going to the downside for anyone watching that name. Not fantastic on Hertz. This might be worth a short if we don't have to pay for it. I'd look for VWAP in here. Let's see if we can. Nope, we have to pay for it, so I got to go see how much that's going to cost.
All right, I'm going to start the short in Apple. I mean, I think I agree with what we're talking about here. Market, below, and this is not a day where, remember yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Well, whatever the day was with AMD. Well, this morning with AMD, but then it was the futures the other day where it just kept on going, and it's like you're trying to find levels to short. Well, this time, I mean, the futures look like they're going the other way here. So we can easily get out of this if we start to rip up. And Apple's giving us some levels right here. So there's the 200 period at 62. We'll see if we get some more short right now immediately. And then take some more even up here at 80. And then we'll see about this 96. Like, I just feel that we can really share size appropriately, knowing that this is what we're looking at here for Apple. So, I mean, underneath, we just got some more shares right now. We can even get out if it breaks VWAP and not even worry about this up here. Maybe that's the best play. See if we can hold VWAP, and then we'll go from there. But I still like 96s are out, even though that high is 10, so we may go to there. But let's just see how this plays out right now. We just got more shares there. Yeah, we got the full. Did we get the full? Yes, we did. Well, we just got more right now. So now we have a decent sized position, probably about a quarter of what we want on this move. The next piece comes in and around VWAP, which is going to be 80s. So we'll see if that can last up to 196.10. If we break out of that, then we break out of that. I still like this. We are below, and I'm thinking a little red here in the market. Let's see if we can capture that. GameStop pulling back. So we still want to get long. We still want to respect VWAP. So if we break through that, then we'll get out. But let's see if this gives us an opportunity to get more long here on GME.
I still was waiting for that 37. We might have to get something a little different than the 37 level. I don't think we get VWAP again, especially if you're going to continue to hold this line. It's kind of going back and forth, so I want to give it a chance to make a decision one way or the other. I wanted to go over to, just very quickly, I'm on the off of Hertz. If I get it, you'll probably see it pop in. On the off, we're going to give that one into VWAP. NVIDIA is coiling a little bit, so it's giving some kind of a sideways bounce. It's still higher lows after this huge reversal at the low end of the day, so double bottom. Still trying to put in a reversal on this name. Ooh, good, low of the day on BlackBerry, so we should be getting that one. If we get the low of the day, I think we just jam out of that. Might as well take it. I'm still in a piece of Robinhood, but that was from a VWAP in the middle of the day. If we get the high of the day, we'll take it. Hertz, I'm kind of passively on the offer at 68. Let me just get on 67 as well. Want to jump in. This is the first pop since the news dropped, and it's gotten all the way into 370 here. So we'll give this into VWAP. Again, senior convertible, 700 million convertible notes for Hertz, and it is to said downside. Not the best looking day for them, down 7%. We'll see what happens. Sometimes you get these news bounces and it's a nothing burger, but I think I want to take a shot here because they were in trouble already. And if it's a bad stock, I want to go short. If it's a good stock, I want to go long. Strong stocks, look for the long. Weak stocks, look for the short. All right, we're back to the 40 break. The dip buy is now gone, so I'm back to looking for the 40 break.
Yeah, it came right in. We could have actually got more exactly the price we're at right there, but we didn't get any because we weren't looking for it. But let's again see that. We're still waiting at 41.75. I like that trade. Let's see if it can work out. We got, again, just walking around the office here, getting some compliments as some of the traders listen to the Freedom and Wealth podcast. So go over there, have a look. The best part about the page is that it's a little different than our last one. And by a little, I mean a lot. We have all of these clips now where they're just 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, fun stuff like produced, edited, all that kind of stuff. So go over, you can watch the whole thing, which by the way, like the quality on the cameras here, and we just actually filmed the next one in 4K, so it's ridiculous. And it's just gonna get better and better. So that's something that, you know, again, we've gotten some really good feedback on it, and a lot of that's been from you guys, so thanks for that. Make sure you go over, hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's the Freedom and Wealth podcast, and we just did another one yesterday, and we had a great time doing it. So hopefully that will hit, and you guys will like it. Almost, oh wow, nice, 1.5K views as we approach 1,000 subscribers. So thanks to everybody for getting that going. We have, you know, one release, and here goes GameStop. So let's go. Let's fire off that hot dog cannon again, because it's just a $2 winner. So let's get those dollar clubs going and throw them up there now as GameStop finally goes. Look, it doesn't matter when you're in it. This is a $2 winner. Whether or not you got it from here, took it all the way up, trade your book, and there it goes, man, right to the 50-period moving average. Again, could be an out for us, and probably should have been right there, but we're still waiting for up here. Let's see if GameStop can really sing, get into this $42 area. I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. I don't know about you, but that's what we're trying to do right there on GameStop, just holding it, right? And again, it's not a diamond hand type of thing. I'm looking for that level. We gave ourselves this low of 36 and change. So that's what we want to try to do right now. And by the way, I mean, let's see if we can get going again here with Apple, because there's a move down for AAPL, and we just got into that one as well. So it's not a big move. We'll just take that 10 cents early on it. Hopefully we can get a move back. I mean, it's right at that level. This is scalping, and we're going to continue to do that as we're still $2 in the money on GME. So let's see what happens.
I'm in on GameStop, obviously, and out on BlackBerry. Said it would get out if it made that break at the low of the day. It just tagged it, dropped the 40 level in. I was able to get 6s, so not much slippage. Thank you, Ed J. Stop's going to be at 50. First offer, 41. 42 is going to be the problem, I suppose, because 42 was the whole price here, and then 42 was resistance on the way to the downside. So 42... I'm thinking we take another leg out if it gets in front of like 41.5, but it's got to get to 41 first, obviously. Running into there's not a lot of size on this stock, so it doesn't really matter what kind of size you see. It's pretty much irrelevant on GameStop. It'll chew through just about every single level. And just to prove that point, I think it was a 38 level, had more size than I'd seen on GameStop in months. And the amount of time it took to get through that level was literally nothing. So there's the first spike into the 41 level. It's continuing to go. Great look on that trade at that 38. Sometimes VWAP is the line in the chart, but if you really think about it, 38's where it broke before. So what's more significant? The massive event where there was like 500,000 shares on the offer, I think it was about 500,000 shares, or a line in the chart at VWAP. And it ends up being a little more important, the 38 level, which I know a lot of people were taking that break the first time through. So I'm a little bit cautious with this 42.
Hilarious. You're gonna miss it.
I think it could be a bit of a problem, this 42 level.
Oh man, that's hilarious. It went to 41.50 and we're sitting there at 41.75. Just one more push through. Oh no, and we should get it, but I don't know. Like we are now $3 in the damn money right now. And I mean, look, we're here, baby. Like I was saying to you, let's just see, man. We took $30 on it and NVIDIA earlier. $3, $4, $5 right now on GameStop if we can get it to the upside right here. Just bounced off 41.50. Can we get higher and break? Let's go. We're here again. Oh, it just rejected one more time right there on GameStop. So let's keep going. This could be another one that we could use, clip it with, but up to 41 and change, all the way going right there, 41.50, 41.80. Good little stop area right there. We called it, but missed it by 25 cents. So now let's wait to see what happens here. Nice little pullback. Could just be reloading itself, though. I mean, you're above the 50-period moving average. Let's see if it gets a little bit more. So we missed that out, it looks like, by 10 cents up there. So 10 cents costing us $1 because we're just too darn precise right there. We should have maybe noticed that at 41.50. We could have done that. But we were waiting, thought it had a chance to go. So let's see if it can get back up to that level. So far, so good, man. Great trade
NVIDIA.
There. Yeah, great trade, SMH. And then Apple's trying to go downside as well.
NVIDIA is trying to break the 1,200 level. Oh, okay, trying is the operative word here. Actually just broke and came right back underneath. It's considering all of the volatility that this stock had before, all of a sudden, it's really not moving that much. you know what? Forget about 1200. Has 1200 really mattered? Like, look at 1200 for the entirety of the afternoon. The big moves came when it bounced off the low of the day and then 95. So maybe it needs to get above 1205 and then we get some confirmation. GME doesn't look like, because it goes to that 41.5, but it can't break 40. So this is going to be pretty simple for me. At this point, if it takes out 40, I'm out, and then looking for it to retrace back into this trend line. It's reestablished the good side of that line, and the bottom will still be in front of VWAP. So I'll look for a dip buy somewhere in the 38 range and in front of VWAP if 40 gets lost. I'll just be out of it if 40 goes, unfortunately. Is what it is. NVIDIA maybe not going to be the thing this afternoon, although sometimes you write off NVIDIA and then it goes all the way to the top in the afternoon. However, AMD's up 1.3%. AMD's bounced off VWAP already. AMD is approaching a test of the highs here. So I think this could be one. Like, why not? Like, why not on a day where NVIDIA loses the headline, doesn't AMD pick up that slack? So if we can break out of this consolidation, why not look for some longs, consolidate higher, grab a long maybe back into the 68 here on AMD.
We are canceling. We're canceling our offer. I don't, you know what, let's just see if we can go up a little bit higher right now through 42, through 44, and see if we can get a little bit higher on this move for GME. I don't want to get out of it. Let's see. Maybe we could do something special here. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be really illiquid at 4 o'clock. So maybe, I don't know if we'll still be in it at that point, but after hours, this thing could get ridiculous right here. So Robinhood going to be speaking on Fox Business News or something about GameStop. So we'll see if that happens or not. But this is also a nice trade right here for Apple. So, I mean, it's starting to move in a little bit now. I mean, we shorted it, it's coming in, and here it comes. So just breaking through some of those levels. And again, the market's not doing too much, but we knew we wanted to be short. So there it goes. Good trade also on SMH, as that's hopefully going to start to fall back in. But we already indicated what NVIDIA was doing, and that was going a little bit of the other way. Right now, back up to the upside after that short was a banger. All right, I'm just probably going to watch this and just figure out what's going on. If there's any other kind of trading that happens for me, it would probably just be to get out of some of the Apple short. We are bidding 32s right now. So if that can hit right now, there it is at 32. I don't know if did we get any fills there? No, we did not get those 32s. That's too bad, but that should come through at some point there for Apple. And then we go even lower on that one. That's crazy. We were bidding that 32, held the level up. But all right, GameStop right now, $40.50. It looks like it's trying to retrace a little bit. We're still in the money, $2.50 on this, but let's wait to see what happens here. As Roaring Kitty's live streaming tomorrow at noon. So, I mean, that's what he's doing.
Buckle up.
Unless that gets pulled, then, I mean, we're going to be here trading this tomorrow. That's for damn sure. I just paid for shorts.
How can they stop him? I mean, like, unless they... Like,
they can stop him pretty easily.
I mean, of course they can, but like the thing is, if you've gotten actually taken legal action, there's processes that go on, like...
Yeah, I mean, Google could just flip the switch immediately.
That they could do. I think that would probably do more harm than good in some ways, for what they want. Yeah, but I'm using
Apple, by the way.
Using they very loosely. I'm going to put a trail in on Robinhood. That news doesn't affect Robinhood. It just so happens to be the CEO is going on talking about all this stuff. But if it goes back underneath 22.85, we're just going to jump out of it. GameStop's still looking pretty solid in here. Just to show you the conclusion of the BlackBerry trade. It did tag the low of the day, and then when GameStop bounced, I punched out of that last little bit that I was holding right here. It's more or less at the same price. Every single time the last 3 times there has been a big spike on GameStop, there's been, free money's the wrong way to look at it, but a point at which it obviously turns and you can just punch short on BlackBerry. 3 out of 3 times. It's not free money to do it, but it hasn't been a difficult trade. And the best part is this time we actually didn't have to pay for locates. BlackBerry doesn't even have a big short float anymore, and it's free locates for us. So VWAP on Hertz is starting to come back in. I'm taking bids in the 60s. I don't know if it gets back into the low of the day, but we'll just keep getting out on Hertz. That 42 level on GameStop is still being a bit of a problem. I just want it to break 42, and if it does that, I'm going to look for the high of the day and put my trail back underneath 41.5. Like, my plan is 42 breaks, trailing stop 41.5, and then see where it goes from there on Jimmy. See what that bad boy can do. It's absolutely wild what's going on with this stock. Like, it was doing not a heck of a lot of anything, yet up 10%. And then things just exploded the second he announced that live stream, which I wasn't even, I came back to my desk and was like, oh, that wasn't a very good out. Yeah. Hindsight being 2020, but I mean, whatever. Like, I got out of it before the news happened. It was just, yeah, very, very early in the news disseminating was when I was out of the long.
I mean, I hope that you guys have been doing this. Like, so we came back online. So both these trades this afternoon, one is $3 in the money, and Apple is better for me because, quite frankly, well, I mean, we're making more money on GameStop, but Apple's a little more controlled money, that's for sure. As there goes GameStop to the upside. We already called this out right there. We just didn't take it at 41.75. So I hope you guys grab that. That would have been $3 and change. So $3.50. Yeah, $3.50. So that's a $3.50 winner. I hope you grab that. And then the other position that we put on this afternoon was this short at Apple, as well as trying to talk about SMH without it really moving. So we're not going to average back into this. We already got some great levels there. If it wants to rip up, it wants to rip up. Honestly, our whole thing, look, I mean, there it goes again. Let's just, hydration nation, stay hydrated, everybody. Big moves today. There goes Apple, nice move to the downside. I mean, we're happy. We're happy. It's been a big one. If anybody has any questions in the chat, please put it on and let me know. But GameStop rate.
Where's Bitcoin?
Nothing. 71 change.
Oh yeah,
it's not doing anything. ETH also not doing anything right now. All right, come on, man. Come on, GameStop. I mean, there's nothing that. Sitting here cheering it on is kind of ridiculous, but it's just a matter of we have the position on. Let's see if it wants to work. Maybe we'll get out of a little bit more of Apple here because it's kind of just a sideshow for me at this point. We'll take out some more as we just sit here and watch this $3 winner on GameStop and hope for more. I think that's all you could do at this point is hope for more, and we'll see.
I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, there is no like rational. Okay, it should do this. That you give a reason you get a reason in. And a reason out, and then you try to hold for the dream, which is usually like that halt upside or like a parabolic move. If it does halt, I'm going to take an action off of any kind of a halt, up or down. Randy in the house, yeah, GameStop did some things. You were on earlier, but yeah, GameStop was normal, and then GameStop went parabolic because Roaring Kitty's going to do a live stream at noon tomorrow.
Starring Randy. No, okay.
No?
Oh, you're not here tomorrow.
It's Friday.
Good job, Randy. Good job.
Everyone's still getting a long weekend in. It's all good, man. I just hope the weather's great for everybody. That's all, because it's supposed to rain all weekend. Unfortunately,
vacation must be nice.
Must
bring your brawly.
Yeah.
Brawly?
No, I got an iced coffee. I'm almost done.
Yeah. Too late in the day for I can never do the coffee late in the day. Everybody can. I'm just not one of those people. Look, it's going to be the same plan of action. I don't want to stare at this thing absolutely forever. There was a small move in Mara just there on sympathy, getting above VWAP. The other thing that's trying to go is it was a squeeze name this morning, was Novavax, and well, it was a gap up this morning. It didn't have a chance to squeeze because it just dumped off the open. It bounced once off 20. I was in that. It couldn't get past $20.50, but then it rejected the 20 level, bounced off 19. It's trying to go again. I suppose if GameStop makes another break of the high and really starts squeezing, this could be a decent, like maybe a sympathy play if you can grab it off the 20 level. Let's see what happens. I mean, if GameStop falls, this will probably just go right back to dying down. It's not the story. Like it's at the lows. I'd look for a sympathy play and pretty much nothing else on that one. Marathon making a run apparently. Marathon Oil. Not really. Nah. No, that's not really doing much of anything. It's a GameStop story. I'll have eyes on Novavax, but unless you're going to show me something here breaking out tops, if the leader isn't going, then I don't want to go long a follower. That's as simple. Like I'd be sooner looking to short like BlackBerry again if GameStop goes to the downside than try to pick up a long without this breaking this key 42 level.
So what's up to Hal right here? We are going to have Frank on in just a couple of minutes. So he says Hal, how do you realize after many years of trading that your style, support and resistance, was the most profitable? So look, I just want to, I'm basically learning all of this kind of in front of you guys as well. This is not something that I used to trade. Like I used to work in the back office, hired thousands of traders, traveled all over the world with real trading, and then just couldn't be in too many places at once. So then we created the show, brought on Neil, brought on now what it is to something that's so huge. So I'm just now learning this. And those of you that have been watching the show now for 4 years used to trade a little bit of a different style, now trade this style. And it's just a matter of trying to find out, A, what works on the show and what works in the current market environment that we're in, right? I mean, when you're in a bull market, sometimes you're able to get like huge moves, and you've seen this in Nvidia. I mean, I've never, sure, we have all the big, per dollar winners on this show, but like $30 on Nvidia, that's just a matter of VWAP trading back down to the 50 period again, right? So there's different methods, and then there's the support and resistance again coming into play. So, I mean, it's just different markets will give you different opportunities and then different styles of trade. So although I've been with this company for 23, 24 years, hired Neil, so on and so forth, it's been a journey to where I even took years off to work in the back and develop risk models and all that kind of stuff, and then help all these offices grow to where they are. So yeah, I'm very proud of doing all of that and very proud to start learning in front of everybody as well. So that's an absolutely great question. But the person that has all the answers, it seems like all the time, is Frank Kaberna, and he's live now with Brendan.
No pressure, Frank, no pressure, as always. It's a big day. It's a big couple of days here to have a conversation about. Welcome to rate cutting season, I guess. It's officially begun, so it doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go straight back down to where we used to be, but officially we have 2 rate cuts here on the books.
Yeah, and they've both gone off with very little price action fanfare here today across almost every asset class. I mean, you could watch that Canadian dollar and euro chart versus USD for the last 24 hours. And I haven't seen anything more than like a 30, 40 pip range, as this seems to have been very, very priced in, Brendan, and you're obviously not seeing many big waves being made across equities or any other asset classes relative to these rate cuts. But it is nice to see, and now the conversation becomes, when will the U.S. cut, obviously, and how much will all of these central banks be cutting for the remainder of this year and on into next year. And that actually is a big meaningful piece, right? Because we're just right now about a month and a half out from the second, I would say, fear-inducing move in the last year of will interest rates actually move higher again. We had this move back in September, October of last year, and we can throw up the 10-year chart to show a little bit of this. You'll remember in the fall of last year, interest rates got to their highs, even though the Fed was now in retrospect done with their hikes, because there was fear that they were going to go actually even higher. You had the big move lower to below 4% in 10-year yields. That's the same time where they priced in the 6 to 7 rate cuts in 2024, which we have not gotten, although we're only halfway through the year, but it's not looking likely that they're going to get that amount of cuts. Yeah, just a month and a half ago, we had another one of these run-ups in interest rates and an increased likelihood of no cuts this year, or maybe even hikes. And so it's been nice to see that we've got the confirmation from global central banks like yours in Canada, and of course the ECB, who is maybe right there under the Fed in terms of the most important central banks globally. We're not moving higher in interest rates. We are moving lower. The question now just becomes how quickly in the US and by what degree at large, because we got 2 25 basis point cuts, not a lot in the grand scheme of things. And central banks seem to be very kind of even keeled in terms of their rhetoric. It's not like they're saying, hey, we're cutting this thing all the way down to 1% or lower in the following few months here, it seems like it's going to be a data dependent handful of cuts over the course of the next 6 to 24 months, all the way out in the next 2 years. You can go back and look at the Fed dot plot. They want to get this thing down to around 3% in the next 2.5 years here. Right now, being up above 5%, Brendan, and only pricing in maybe 2 cuts this year of 25 basis points each. The market feels very comfortable with that. And like I say, no great waves being made over the cuts that we got today. The big waves that will potentially hit equities and Forex and all these markets that are tangential to interest rates will be if the jobs data tomorrow in the US continues to come out weak, if inflation in the US next week is under expectations, then maybe they do price in another cut or 2 here in 2024. And that could mean, given recent trends, a lot of upside for stocks and downside for US dollar. But you're just seeing small moves here. US dollar is continuing to give up some ground. Interest rates are continuing to give up some ground, but nothing very substantial. Your Canadian dollar didn't lose a bunch of value overnight. It lost a little bit, but still really in the last handful of weeks of trading range, as for the time being, 25 basis point cuts in Europe and Canada, mostly priced in, although it's not priced in the US for at least the next couple of months. So we'll see if that gets moved closer. That would have effects for equities and everything else. But right now, everything seemingly going according to plan, Brennan.
Yeah, I think the more important message here is the language that followed that, both from the Bank of Canada and the ECB, suggesting that they're comfortable in the fact that we're heading in the right direction. Inflation is still heading in the right direction, and that is on a path to where they want it to be. So with that, yeah, let's talk about some more exciting things, because there are a lot to consider here. You mentioned CPI coming up on Monday. That could be, very influential, A, and B, something that I think gives hope to the remainder of the year. We got this jobless data this morning, jobless claims coming out higher than expected once again. So we've seen this, another data point getting added to the pile, another data point getting added to the pile. We have non-farm to come then on Friday.
Yeah, and if this non-farm comes in confirming what we've seen now in the job openings number and the jobless claims number that we got today, as you can see, yeah, another data point showing a softer job market in the US. The real question for next week's FOMC, and I don't know if you saw, they actually reduced the expectation for the non-farm. The bank analysts did from, it was 190,000 jobs for the last week or so. Now the estimate's down to 185, which is very close to last month's number, which was way underestimate expectations that were well in the 200 handle for non-farm payrolls added in the month of April. And so this number here expected now at 185, if it does show another soft job data point, something that is 175, 170 or below, the question becomes, regardless of what CPI is next week, if it's 2.4% or 2.5% or 2.6%, whatever, in the mid twos, will this weak job data spark some interest from the Fed come FOMC in the middle part of next week? Will they flip some of the rhetoric, which has been, by and large, yes, we think we've peaked in terms of interest rate hikes. Yes, we do see cuts coming, but we're waiting for inflation data to come in, and we're data dependent and whatever. Do they add in some of the employment side of things? Because remember, we've been so infatuated with inflation for the last 2 to 3 years because it's been higher than expected. The central banks, theoretically, they are watching employment data as well as inflation data. Those are the two major metrics that they look at constantly in terms of where they're going to set interest rates. And so it'll be interesting to see, Brennan, not if they cut interest rates next week. It's pretty much priced in that they won't. So probably no surprise there when and if they don't cut interest rates like the Bank of Canada and ECB counterparts have. But more so, if they enter into their statements or into the press conference anything about, we're starting to watch job data because we see that it's softening up, and that might factor into when and how many times we cut here in 2024. Then you might see interest rates take another leg lower. And again, it'll be interesting. I feel bad coming on here and saying the classic BS of a talking head. Like, the equity of this year is when interest rates have trended lower, equities in crypto have trended higher. But again, this is a weird one wherein interest rate projections could trend lower, but as a function of a struggling economy, which might cause some back and forth in equities, some indecisiveness, as opposed to what we did see, like I say, in the first several months of the year, which was interest rates moving lower and equities moving to all-time highs. But yeah, it'll be a really interesting number tomorrow. If it's a big miss to the downside, I wouldn't be surprised if come Wednesday, the Fed is talking more about employment than maybe inflation, as they have in the last 2 to 3 years here.
Which would be a change in the language. And I think it's worth noting, even going back to what happened with the Bank of Canada and the ECB, we've spent so much time. We went up, first of all, so quickly and spent so much time so high. Yeah, a quarter point is not going to be earth-shattering by any stretch of the imagination in the grand scheme of things. It's the sentiment change and the directional change of the overall move. And I mean, you have the chart going out to the end of the year here, suggesting that, as you mentioned earlier, maybe we're starting to see a move back towards not only 2 but 3.
Yeah, and keep in mind, of course, the Fed doesn't like to move in more than 25 basis point increments. They could throw a 50 basis point cut in there by the end of the year at one of these meetings, especially if employment data is lower than expected last month, it's lower than expected this month and next month, and then into continuing months into the future. But yeah, right now, the expectations right there are really almost perfectly normally distributed around 2 rate cuts. But what's interesting, Brennan, I know you watch this religiously, I do as well. We've seen this shift from the distribution being around 2 cuts and erring on the side of maybe 1 or no cuts to now really shifting to maybe 3 and slight outside chance of 4 cuts by the end of the year here. And keep in mind, like your friend Frank has jumped on and highlighted so many times, in the first half of this year, we went from 6 to 7 cuts down to 1 or 2 cuts in a mere 5 or 6 months. We can absolutely go from 1 or 2 cuts to 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 in a matter of a couple months. And so the employment data, that's been the hot item over the course of this week and the last 2 months. I would say it's been a lot more interesting than this inflation data, Brendan, that's been maybe 0.1% lower, maybe flat from a month-to-month perspective. And so I think this non-farm number tomorrow will be a really big one across interest rates, obviously, but all asset classes. And maybe that's why we've got some quiet trading here from the market at large, even though you might say, wow, major central banks cutting for the first time since the pandemic. Doesn't that mean something? Whereas that's been mostly priced in. And everyone's really waiting for this U.S. employment data to see if the U.S. is going to follow suit sooner rather than later, because, yeah, the Canadian Euro area piece has been so priced in. But, yeah, I think this non-farm will be a big one. And then the CPI next week will obviously be big, but I'm really interested to see if the Fed at their press conference and in their statement is talking about this soft employment data especially if tomorrow's number's a miss.
We'll keep an eye out for that. The good news is we don't have long to wait for that. And then, yeah, the big one coming up next week on Wednesday. Great stuff as always. Good luck, Frank Kaberna over at IG in Chicago. Good to see you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, as always, Frank. Bit of a move up in the market, but not a huge one. I mean, if you're looking at what's leading it, it's a vastly different story. All the Mag 7 names here. Amazon, high of day, so that is strong. Tesla near the highs, that is strong. Microsoft, low. There we go. It's trying to break view up, so that's kind of in the middle. And then you got Apple on the other end of the spectrum. We've seen NVIDIA. We already know where NVIDIA is. Apple on the other end of the spectrum looking like it's pushing lower. So it's a really mixed bag.
Ooh,
but overall, the biggest ones are all weak. Microsoft, Apple, and NVIDIA are all at or underneath VWAP. So I tried an Apple long right before we came back. Actually, it was like 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock. So it was an hour before we came on. It felt like it wasn't that long ago, but it was above VWAP, and now you're trending back into the downside. GameStop got me out that 40 level, so we took a 40 break. I'm asking myself, do I want a 42 break? My gut's telling me I don't. I'd rather find like a dip buy in here if we can get back into it. So the 40 break will still be good. It's one of those, like this morning, there's a 0% chance that I anticipated that my top 2 stocks were going to be BlackBerry and GameStop, but this is where we're at in the afternoon because they're the biggest movers, no questions asked. Palantir is holding on to strength, literally breaking the high of the day as we, okay, never mind. It's at the high of the day, hasn't broken it just yet. 23.93, the 24 level could be pretty solid here as well for Palantir. Still holding a very, very steep trend line. I did say if it broke it, I would go short, but as you can see, Palantir wants no part of breaking down, just showing strength all day long. It's just higher low after higher low. Sometimes these really hold pretty nicely, but if it does break, right now it's looking like 75 into VWAP would be the jam.
So, yeah, look, I mean, Palantir is going to be just a great stock. We've talked about that over and over again and how much we liked it there, excuse me, on the sticky note and whatnot. All right, we have a new position alert, so let's just do that. It's a name that we haven't talked about in a while, but we really like their products. Starbucks right there. All right, it's up 1%. So I'm just taking this as a break back through VWAP, again, trying to get going. So you see the 50 period here, we're looping up against that. Feel like we can use 90s as our out, trying to buy that, and it worked. But just right now, it's not really. So nice little breakdown through 82. We were trying to buy those 82s against this, so that's 10 cents. And then it went, our best out is 14s, and we've sort of come back in now into 08s. So we're only long here at 03. On Starbucks. I still think we can get up. And if we can get up 20, 30 cents, we'll take that. The problem is the market just bounced off VWAP. So it's great for our Apple trade as that continues to go lower. So we've had 3 trades. Now that got out at the 50 period, but here we go, Apple. Let's go to the downside. I mean, I'll be just as happy if this market goes down as up. I mean, we do have, Starbucks is a little more shares because it's a newer position, of course, but we've already sort of taken Apple. You know that we really like the stock, so we're comfortable taking shares here. 95 is a target for me. So I'm actually bidding 12s, so a little bit lower than this, kind of where we had stopped out there. We stopped out at 15s. We're waiting a little bit lower than that. Then we'll wait for 195, and then we'll see if Apple gives that up and then starts to head lower. And why did we choose Apple, you might say? Or maybe if you don't, I'm sort of going to tell you anyways. The market was down underneath VWAP, red on the day, Apple's more red, and I feel like the tailwinds of Worldwide Developer Conference are over now because that's next week. So tomorrow's options, it's Friday. Feel like Apple probably gets sold off. It's been a huge move. We talked about how good NVIDIA's been, money coming out of NVIDIA today, how good Apple's been, money coming out of Apple today. So I don't know how good GME's been. Money piling into GME today, as there goes GME breaking through 42-ish momentarily, I would think. 41.90 and change. That wick high right there is 42.25. So here we go. It's GameStop into the close, probably worth a break there at 42.25.
Yeah, it's almost 60, 80,000, 100,000 shares on the offer. I was just, as you get a look at the level on all the different books, you can't really tell how much is on the offer until it gets there. But I saw about 100,000. It doesn't matter. It's going to break the level. If it was bigger, we'd care. So if it can't hold, 42 is a pretty key level. If it can't hold it, I think this is one of those that should work right away, and then we test the high of the day. The chances of a halt seemingly at this point are a lot lower. Like with the first move is the only reason it halted up and down. I feel like if it can't, all right, doesn't think it's going to hold, not going to hold, give it to the 50 level, and we'll see if it can hold 50s. I don't know if it's going to hold this 50 break. I was ho-humming whether or not I wanted to take 42 long break, and I basically just took it for a little bit less shares. So I split the difference on that. The only other position I'm in is still in Hertz. If it breaks VWAP, I'll let you know. But that's kind of calmed down a little bit, Hertz. There was the bad news, it did the big flush, we shorted the pop back up, and now it's leveling off of sorts on HTZ. Oh, NVIDIA is back above 1200, so 1205 could certainly break on NVIDIA, although the velocity is not nearly what it was before. Like, it's night and day watching NVIDIA, looking at the chart here, as opposed to what we saw earlier in the session. Like, it's just, it feels like it's asleep, and it's moving like $3, $4 at a time, and it feels like it's asleep.
So we took the 42.25 break, so we're stuck at 42.29. Wish we had gotten that 42. Obviously, would have saved us 30 cents. But let's go wait to see what does happen now. We're up at 43 to give it a shot. I mean, I feel like the 50 period here is it's forever changing, it seems like, of course, as this name gets really rapid movements. But $40.50 rate now for a possible out. Let's see if it wants to go here. 305. I mean, we're in it, so we're flat on it, so we can see what happens. Just needs to break a little bit more because we're right at that high again. So that's right where we're stuck long, and I'm fine to be stuck long there. We already took that $2. It did break the 50 period the first time there, and we got out. So obviously should have been holding onto that one, but we just punched longer again. So I don't know if I would have even punched longer there, but here we go. We're trying to hold on to this. This time, let's see if we can go. It's GameStop. It's trying to get back to the upside right now as GME. It's potentially going to be my #1 stock if it does touch this 43 level, for sure it will be. And then we'll take a piece out and then hopefully not get stopped out on the way back down if there is a way back down. We're at $43 right now on GameStop. Good call, Neil, there. Here it goes. Nice move. Let's go. Let's spin that money.
I was going to say hit this.
Yeah. As 42.90 coming through right now, it's GameStop. We like it a lot right now. Get going. Did we get that out? No, we didn't. We're at $43. Just one more push up there for GameStop. And there it goes. Let's go, man. Whether or not this is diamond hands or not, who knows? But it's a chicken dinner winner for your boy right now. It's GameStop, and we are going longer. That was a good break there. Just took about 80 cents. Let's see if we can get higher here on GME. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Maybe we cannot.
I wanted to answer a really good question. Ooh, I just lost it. It was in the chat. It was like, someone said, do you think NVIDIA can go to 1210? NVIDIA can go to 1210. It could go to 1210. I just think that GameStop getting back to the high of the day and looking for entries is a better bet than NVIDIA. There's nothing against NVIDIA, than guessing that NVIDIA is going to start to do something that it's not doing, which is move. So like, look 1205 looks like a pretty good break level. Look how long it's holding 1205. Maybe 1205 to 1210 is a good break. I'm not going to say it's not, but this just broke that 42, which is another triple top of sorts, and could get to the high of the day, give you like 50 cents worth of risk, and it just went $1 and it could go another $1. Is nothing, it's just about where the better opportunity would be, and maybe GameStop wasn't a better opportunity, and 10 times out of 10, NVIDIA should have been the thing. I would just tend to disagree. You trade what's moving, especially in power hour. I think at the beginning of the day, if you get a good level, the stock can trend all day long for you, and that's all great. But near the end of the day, when you're up against the clock, you want to trade the things that are moving the most and then give you the best opportunities to trade. That's why Sean jumped over to Starbucks, because it moved. I mean, I tried out Hertz because there was news on this thing. That's why I'm not even looking at Google. If you heard me even say Google, absolutely not. Not today. Although, I shouldn't write it off. Maybe it's doing something. My guess is absolutely not for Alphabet. Look, I'm going to take the high of the day on GameStop. I just feel like if it makes a break, there's other ways to get in it. Someone said, why do you guys take it out? I take it out because I like to go station to station and look for another break. I don't mind taking every single break that looks good and scalping every single break that looks good as opposed to trying to hold for the dream. But I promise you this, if it fails this top again and there is an opportunity that's not a really bad price, I'm punching short in BlackBerry again. I just wish it was up at 290, 291 like last time. But we'll probably only have to look at VWAP here. It'll be a much tighter trade because it'll be like 83 with an 85 stop. You know what, actually it doesn't even look that good. Because you want to be able to risk 2.5 cents and have a 10-cent move. This isn't even worth it because I probably could only make 2 pennies on it. But anyways, maybe AMC or something like that. But I'm not shorting GameStop. find a sympathy play if you want to look for a short.
Yeah, probably a good idea with that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I mean, GameStop is starting to go again for us. I mean, we're in it. You just saw me take it. Let's see about a 44.50 area right now. Let's just put it there. If it comes through, we'll take another piece out. I mean, this is the station to station we're talking about. Here, next station, high of the day. So let's see if it can come up there, and then we'll get a piece out there at 44.30s if that is available. So right now, we'll wait. There's still a long time before this market even thinks about closing. So we're excited for that. Yeah, you mentioned Starbucks, but Starbucks has come right back in again. And again, the futures
I missed the news.
really...
Was there news on?
No news on Starbucks, no. I don't know, again, like we were just mentioning there, news or not on this name, if it breaks this 50 period, well, there's no news, but if it breaks this 50 period moving average, then we're gonna have to get out, and that's, we don't have to, but I'm going to. So that's imminent right now, breaking through this 90. So thing is like, you know, we're celebrating and happy, not necessarily celebrating, but there goes Starbucks, that we have this play right here on GameStop. So let's not like give it back by losing everything on Starbucks, right? And so that's kind of the mentality that I have when I'm trading. And we're gonna use that now for Starbucks. So nice little break lower, wrong on that one, as the market kind of doing nothing. We've been right on Apple, so we'll make that money. That bounced off we're at 195.12, we said that. That bounced off 15, so maybe we can go back to that. But really, I mean, I'm just looking at GameStop. SMH has been kind of sleepy. We will have to go back to Nvidia at some point. It's at VWAP right here as well. That could be a short. So that could be something that I look at there as well, back into SMH as a short. Let me just see what Nvidia is doing.
NVIDIA VWAP 10s.
That's the thing, Nvidia's not doing anything. So we went short there on VWAP the first time on NVIDIA, and that took us $30 downside, and we got that one. But for right now, not much happening. So if you do want to be a VWAP shorter, I think you got to do something in and around here with SMH. But FFIE apparently moving around on social media as well.
No, it's not.
250, 250. I think we should get some more short here on SMH.
I was just basically, like, FFIE, there was some social media chatter about it, but this stock moving 4 cents is not enough. It's 10%, but it's nowhere close to breaking out here at 60 cents. If FFIE, if Faraday breaks 60 cents, that can be a level. Like, that's something that will get my attention. I took out GameStop as it's now breaking toward the high. I don't know, like the price where it turned around, this 44, I don't know if I want that break, but if it fails that break, I'd look for a dip buy. 40 makes sense, 42 could make sense, 41 could make sense. You see what I'm getting at here? I don't know. If it fails the break, I don't know where it's gonna bounce, but the first even dollar that looks pretty good is where I would try to get back into it. And I'm gonna keep Faraday up just in case somehow on sympathy it does break the 60 cents. I'm gonna have it in my side pocket there, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, the story is going to be GameStop. Just looking for a re-entry. Can continue to try to scalp this bad boy.
Yeah, we talked about that going to PL number 1 real quick right there. And there it is, it's GameStop, and we just got that fill again on that upside. Like, that's why you got to sit there, right? 44.40s right there on GameStop. So that's another $2. So just do the math if you're here with me. That's $2. That's another $1.50. That's another $2. So as we continue to go higher, let's see what winds up happening now with GME. And then obviously we did this as well. Let's get on that reload. We just said, well, hey, why not reload SMH? I mean, I hope you guys heard me mention that. Obviously we did. So there it is right now. Let's see if we can get some out here at 18s and a little bit lower than that. But we just missed that because we were looking at SMH. So now let's see if we get some out as it's come back up a little bit. So SMH, quick little outs there, but it is coming back. We'd like to get some outs. Hopefully it comes back in and fills us as we celebrate that $3 now. GameStop is trying to go higher right now, still going. We bought it again. Let's see what GameStop can do, and SMH and Apple. Wow, Neil, what kind of a damn day is this turning out to be right now? 50 cents in the money for Apple, $3 in the money for GameStop, another 20 or 30 cents on SMH, depending on where we go. Let's go GameStop, and this is the day that we're waiting for. It's a good one here. SMH ruling right now. GameStop breaking $45. We are all over this one. It is a hot dog kind of a play right now for me on GameStop. Let's continue that move higher. $2.50 here. I mean, $30 on Nvidia, 15 early, getting into GameStop. Let's see if we can really get something going here into the afternoon. I believe we already have.
100% we have. It's a monster level at 45. It's a brick wall. I didn't see who it was, but I saw someone saying they're adding to a short in GameStop. I'm covering on the way up and trying to get back in, but that in no way do I think it's a short. I specifically am not even trying the short in this. If it makes a nasty turn, I'm going over and punching something else, which is if I get BlackBerry, maybe even Faraday. Okay, if it pulls underneath 44, I'm canceling the 45 break. There it is. Yeah, so there's the pullback through that 45. No good price on BlackBerry to grab on that little turn. So it tried to make the break, hasn't really done it. Let's see where it has a chance to bounce here. I thought 42 or 41 could come into play. So if we get 42 and get a bounce off 42, I think it's good for that little rubber band action. So for now, it got to 45 and didn't break it. The high of the day stands at 44.99. So the break is still valid. It's not technically a failed break because it hasn't really gone through the 45 level. If it gets there, I think a lot of people, 50 would be a logical stomping grounds for GameStop. I think you just go with the obvious levels in this one. It's also Friday, tomorrow, so 50 is going to be a pretty popular level. Not that Roaring Kitty matters. I mean, he's at $20, so he's chilling. All right, so here's the dip. It's coming into that 42 level. I wish. Yeah, okay, so I mean, if you were adding to shorts, you're looking pretty good. I just said there's no way I'm shorting that level, but 45 was a brick wall, and it held. So good scalp trade if you're in it. But I'm looking for a place to get long again.
This has been an afternoon for the ages. Honestly, this like Apple, boom, right back down to the bottom there. SMH, the reload right there, boom. GME, lots of opportunities. It's nice when only the longs, like other than that move at 45, like only the longs really work. I mean, I know there's a lot of traders looking for those longs, and that's why you got to get out once you hit that. But we're still in a third of it, so we'll wait. We've been playing back 50-period moving averages, so let's just do it again, right? I mean, that 50-period moving average gave us a $2 winner right there, and it will get us basically flat right here of a breakthrough. Here it is right here, 41, 47 or so, we'll get out. All right, stop order in. All right, so there it goes. But we're really putting damage on the board here on this SMH trade. We loaded this up at VWAP, and then obviously we'll give props to everybody out there that's trading VWAP with me. And thank you again for those nice words from Hal and from everybody out there just about learning to trade and really, respecting some of the things that I've been doing over here. But at the end of the day, trades go against you all the time. So you have to be able to take profit, know what your risk parameters are, and try to be as accurate with those as possible. And I mean, that's why I take it personally, when there's a loss, because, it's something that I thought it would work, didn't. And when it doesn't work, that's fine. You have to stay, like I said, stay, in your zone and understand that losses are going to be part of the game. So that's what we do, and we just sit here, put on the trades, and then watch what happens, right? I mean, we've already sort of built up, the reputation and been able to trade very profitably here for many years, and now it's a completely different environment, as we say. Like, I was never trading, 15 years ago, GameStop, anything that's moving like this. So right now we just hop into it and we just adjust. And we get better, and we get better, and we get better. And tomorrow we'll be better, and every single day we will be. And again, that's something that we talk about. And thanks to the guys behind us for tuning in. But that's what we talk about with the Freedom and Wealth podcast, is just get incrementally better every single day. And as long as you can do that, then you will be able to. Oh, look, I got shades on now. Oh man, look at this. We got a new one here. We got shades on right now.
Comply or die.
School, yeah, you're muted there. Yeah. School teaches you to comply with the system. Yes, correct. So watch out for this one and see what's going on right now and realize why. Basically, we've talked about this. My guy that's in university right now, taking some time off. He's in funding round, trying to make something special happen. So, I mean, this is what we're talking about. This is the Freedom and Wealth podcast. Please go over there and subscribe immediately. It's just these little clips, man. I really love what we're doing now. And plus, we both got shades on there. Oh, nice, Brendo, going through. So it's just been really special to do it. And, thank you to everybody for coming through and subscribing. 861 subscribers. You could be the 1,000th subscriber if you get it probably before the night. But go over there, have a quick look.
Do it right now. You could be 869. That's not a bad one.
Yeah, you could be there. Yeah, for sure. 862 for right now. But okay, so GameStop is pulling back a little bit. Already. But yeah, we're still here at 45. So we'll do that. And then we're still here on SMH. Let's see if this market does want to collapse into the close. Hey, market collapse, please. And GameStop go up. I mean, they're not connected, so we'll see if that can work for us.
I actually like when the meme stocks are going up and the market's going down, because I feel like at that point, like everything's in the doldrums. The only game in town is going to be the movement to the upside that's happening in a squeeze name. So I'd much prefer, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't like when the market goes down in a general sense, but if we break this 45, fantastic. It doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Every time I stare at a level, this is what ends up happening. We don't get the break. So if we get down to 43, I cancel the order and look for some kind of a dip buy. As long as we're at 44, I'm looking for the break. 40% to the upside is a drop in the bucket. Don't mind looking at other names, but as long as it's close, I'm looking for the breakout on GME. Just want to be able to get in, get out, take the profit. At the end of the day, I think one of the most important things Sean said is like get incrementally better. Like one of the things that I found over time, if I look at the traders that have stuck around and the ones that haven't, it's the traders that are okay with getting incrementally better. Like the ones that before you have stability, before you have consistency, just try to scale like crazy before you actually have something that's profitable for you. That's where you run into trouble. Once you get something profitable, be willing to gradually scale, learn something different, and then add to it. There were no meme stocks when we started trading. There's no question about it. Like most of the things that were meme-ish were just penny stocks that would go nuts, which is a very different ball game from what you see now. Like the trading, the volume is incredibly different from what we're usually able to see. I just saw Go Meta in the chat there. Yeah, Meta's not really doing much. Reddit's worth a look. Like Reddit, we always talk about sometimes this is like a secondary name. Of course, it's on the New York Reddit. Thank you, Neil, for not actually remembering where it is. The thing about Reddit that I like for a meme play is there's at least something, there's a there with Reddit. So it's not just like a straight gamble. Like this is a stock and a company came to market, has been a successful IPO, has an idea of how they're going to monetize. It's been doing very, very well since its IPO. Potential chance that it could break out some of these tops up here, 62, 63. If it gets through 65, I think it can go squeezing. So you want to look at every single opportunity to trade. I would caution you that this is a very gentle move to the upside with not a lot of volume behind it and still a bit of a spread. It's just like programs that are buying this. So the parabolic moves are going to be in GME. It's just not going to be in Reddit. From a trading standpoint, if you're a day trader, I think it's a no-brainer that GameStop is the thing that you want to be trading at this moment. And Reddit, put that into the other basket. Maybe it's good for a swing trade while this is going on for more stability because you can hang on to it for a longer time frame. But I'd be much more interested in, when you're trading something active, it's going to give you multiple opportunities to get in, get out. The more I stare at 45, the more it just doesn't seem to want to go. Always frustrating when that happens. Nvidia just came back into 12. So I feel that was the right decision. Like Nvidia might go. Nvidia could have been good, but Nvidia, come on, break. Just break. They get so annoying. But Nvidia just broke the 1200 to the downside. So unfortunately, it's just not going to go. The one is going to be GameStop or through 45 any second now. Let's go to Adara at the desk. Get going.
This part of the show brought to you by American Airs, trading in the USA under the symbol AAIRF and in Canada under the symbol WIFI. This company just announced a knockout punch, a global marketing partnership with the UFC. Airs Tech is dedicated to bridging the gap between technology and wellness. Airs Tech's mission is to provide cutting-edge solutions that protect against electromagnetic radiation without disrupting everyday use of technology. This innovative company has seen consistent revenue growth and boasts several high-profile customers like Russell Brand and top UFC athletes. Invest in American Airs today. OTCQB, AAIRF, CSE, WIFI.
As we said all week long, absolutely love that symbol. It's going to be Wi-Fi. Now, this is a break that I want to work right away. When it failed the high, when GameStop failed the high, it dropped 12 or it's like $7. It was almost 20%, like that move in, and it was pretty clean. It went into a down halt, and then it reopened and got absolutely smoked. So this is not a trade. Everybody's got to be different. For myself, I don't like giving up my profits in one shot. So I have 96s, again 99s. There's the break. Where did it just get to? 45.80? Oh, yeah, there's the rinse. I tried to get 45.80 almost instantly, wasn't able to get it there, and then right back underneath. So that's the job that it can do. Still going higher, but I'm taking that break only if it works right away. Let's see if we can get it one more time back through the $45 level. If it does flush, the only other name I'm going to look at is like maybe an AMC on the back end. Like I would not go short this name. If we flush from here, I'm probably flipping to AMC or, I don't know, like BlackBerry's not giving me the opportunity. I don't like the levels on BlackBerry. I don't think you get a good risk to reward. You need to be able to get at least like 10 pennies on that for it to go.
Who's got the hands with me here? As we go, I mean, we're still holding on. I don't have, you know where my stop is. Now it's, actually we got to switch it. Now it's at 42. Let's put our stop in there at $42. I don't have any offers out. I'm going to hold this past 4 o'clock. So if we don't break, 41.97 back down. So here we go. Let's offer that out. We'll get out at 42 break. I'm just following this 50 period up. Now it's at 42.50. We might as well just change it right now because if it breaks in, you know what? We can leave it. Whatever. We're here to ride. All right. So there it goes. Good move upside. Now $4 in the money. I mean, we're about 8 in the money from our original spot. And I've just been saying like what a great afternoon this is. But you know what's also kicked this down? Look at this trade. This to me is actually, for me, it's better. I mean, the GME trade will make more money on, will we? Yeah, I guess so. But for me, this is better because this is exactly the stuff that I'm looking for every day. So like I said, I'm here to trade. I mean, this is now $1, $2, $3, $4 now in the money on this GameStop trade and still going higher. And this is now moved into P&L number 1 by far right now here today. So good move upside now for this name. And it seems like it doesn't want to stop. And of course, that is GameStop. Nice move upside, 42.50. Let's just put in our stop there now. At least, you know, if it goes back down, it goes back down. I mean, I don't know. We're in this for the long run, right? I just said we're going to try to hold this until 4 o'clock. We're on a prop floor, so that's been part of the, you know, beneficiary of being able to trade with more shares and be able to put some risk on when you do like the position. So there it is, man. We liked it once, we liked it twice. Let's get some more SMH out right now as well for 70 cents. Like that's could be a good one. And now $5 plus now in the money on GME. So I mean, let's go. Today holding has been definitely the right call here into this move. As you know, we've been able to get out at all of those spots as well. Maybe that $1 was a little bit early, but we got it there at 44.50, and we actually got spooked because we went up there to our price, and we should have got out there, and then we got stopped. So I wanted to make sure that we at least took some profit on this. But here we go, man. 42.50 is a stop. Now 5 almost clean in the money here.
This is getting insane on GameStop. I mean, it's already been insane, but just so you know, this is it. If you go all the way back to, it was literally 3 days ago, it's not even that far, this 47 level is kind of it. If it holds on to 47, I think you see the 50. I'm out in front of 50. It is what it is. And the other thing about it, like, all styles can work. If I get wicked out of a trade, I'm generally speaking getting back in. Took the break, I said I'm having a tight stop, it works right away or it doesn't. The first thing it did is go right back above 45, so I punched right back in above 45. So this 47 level holds, I think we get 50. If it does not, I'm not holding it all the way back into 45. Everyone can do their own thing. I'm gonna do mine, whatever is profitable. Let's go to Adara.
You're looking for some of these heavily shorted names. Here's another one actually making a move here. It's gonna be Edible Garden, EDBL, this one here up almost 20% right now. They had a bit of a catalyst this morning just announcing that there's some more availability for their products, but worth noting they do have a short float of about 26.4%. Their total float is just under 3 million shares, so pretty small float there. Also worth noting lots of social media attention, especially over the last 10 minutes, trying to make a higher break on the day. EDBL, another short float name, guys.
47.50 just hit on GameStop, putting us 5 and change in the money, and still going higher right now. We could check on AMC and all of that right now, but I mean, the bread is being buttered over there on GameStop. Maybe I'll have to get my kid that new game today that he wants, whatever the hell it is. I have no idea. He's really all over the Oculus. He's gotten a couple things off the Oculus.
What's new? You tell me.
He loves the Oculus.
I'm just curious what's new on the Oculus.
Oh, I have no idea, but he's loving the Oculus these days. So, all right. Let's see what happens now. We're just still I mean, we've already got that low. I don't even really want to get into anything else. SMH right here, we've already, again, because it went all the way to the downside, we talked about it going to the 200 period. That's it for me. Like, that's a good trade into the 200. So we got the majority of them out. And I don't even know if we'll reload this into the close. NVIDIA was a monster. SMH was huge. Starbucks, look, good thing we got out of it as it just continued to the downside. Wrong call on that one. I mean, I thought Starbucks would be strong there. Good thing we took a little bit of profit. Still be red on that name, though. And then, you know, not much else to talk about. Robinhood, still, I guess, off the open, fantastic, long there, no shorts.
Oh yeah, that came out just so everyone.
Yeah, pretty proud about that one. And then AMD as well, the reddest stock for me today, AMD, as it goes up to the upside there. And it looks like we could have just shorted 168.50, but again, looks like it's going to continue to be strong off VWAP. So we'll hold out on this one. The shorts are starting to lose now, so it is a good thing that we had covered. So we'll give back a little bit by holding some of this stuff. Just for this SMH trade, we have about 20% left at most. It could even been less. I'm just not even sure anymore about how many shares we had. So just all of this was a great one. We don't have any stop outs higher. So far so good here on SMH as GameStop continues to try that 47.
And the thing about it is, and what's the best part about trading, and for everyone that's out there, I know you like trading the stocks that you're comfortable with and all that good stuff. But on a day where Nvidia is, maybe it's not exactly how you want it to be, or maybe Micron's not trading how you want it to go, or SMCI, or Intel, or AMD, whatever. SMH is out there. There's always something. If you like EV names, you could trade Rivian, you could trade Tesla, you try NIO if you want to, but that's what it's all about. So Sean pops over to SMH because it's a better read, and it doesn't matter what it is as long as there's a read on it. I'm now flat. I'm going to get to GameStop in a second, but I forgot to mention I got covered on Robinhood there. It tagged 23.15. We just sat at the offer. It's been a strong stock, and I don't want to forget Robinhood tomorrow, up 7%. Remember, this is just a breakout today. Like, it just took out a 52-week high today and is going to close, barring some kind of a disaster, it's going to close above 23 at a 52-week high, so this could easily continue tomorrow. But at GameStop, that big 47 level, 50 would be nice, but there's that top there at 47. Once it rejected the 47 top, I got out. There's still 28 minutes left to go in the day, so there's always a chance that there's more entries possible. Could it bounce off this halt? Like, the top end halt was at 44.40, so it could hold that and then go dip buy hunting on GME. Volumes through the roof. This story might not be over, but let's get on over to the green screen with Adara.
You might be able to expect here quite a few names on the S&P 500 making some outsized moves on a variety of catalysts, including Uber here. Uber, from what I can see, looks like a bit of a sympathy play, up about 4%, but we did see that move up in Lyft earlier today as well. Lyft raising some of its expectations into 2027 ahead of its investor day. So nice move for these rideshare names. UBER up about 4%. We also have CRM, Salesforce. This was mentioned a little bit earlier, but a couple catalysts here. For one, they did announce they're building their first AI data center in London. Also here, ValueAct, this group increasing their Salesforce stake to nearly $1 billion as announced on CNBC, so nice move there. Last but not least, we have Old Dominion Freight Line, ODFL. This one's on the NASDAQ. This one down actually about 3%, though, recovering a little bit here. Basically reporting some operating metrics and getting a price target decrease from BofA Securities. So tons of names to keep an eye out for throughout the day here, guys.
All right, thanks, Adara, for that. Looks like we did go up to VWAP there. We should have probably offered some more on SMH, but again, into the close. Future still holding out right there. Obviously, GameStop's at 46, so we can leave that alone just for a minute. It's not doing too much. Just dancing around right now. So it did make that bottom. It's touched out now a couple times at 45.50 or so. Now back up 50 cents from that level, but 50 cents in this name is like, whatever it is, it is. Coinbase quickly, just to see what's going on here. With crypto kind of flat over these last little days, we have some nice moves up. We had Michael Noss on Monday talk about Coinbase and how much he liked the space right now, but you are coming up to this 265 area that's held before and created sort of a top. So that could be something to short for Coinbase, especially if you are a little negative on the crypto space, which I'm not, but that could be a spot there for Coinbase. And then just for today, looking at it today, look at it, hold VWAP, and there it is again right there. So sometimes trading is a little bit easier in the afternoon, and we talk about that as here goes GME again. Let's go up to GME, now 47 again. But holding VWAP there and then the chase back into it, good opportunity to get long on Coinbase. And again, here goes GameStop, man. We talked about what we're trying to have right now, and let's see if it makes sense or just a stupid meme. Going back up to the upside.
Or
here,
both.
47. Yeah, it could be both. It's well, yeah. If it's, I don't know if it's a stupid meme or not, though. Here we go. 47 right now, incoming again for GameStop. Like I said, I want to hold this after 4 o'clock, so I might be trading out of this on the Market Recap Show. Join Mia Dara and Danielle Shay.
Danielle Shay tonight, and after Lululemon this morning, which sometimes earnings are the big story, and sometimes they go back to the wayside, because I feel like I just said Lululemon for the first time since about 8:40 in the morning, whenever we would have gone over Lulu. Maybe we did it in the rundown at 9 o'clock as well, but yeah, Lulu, not great. It actually ended up giving a lot back. I'm still thinking we have some time in here. We have some early look imbalances that we can look at, but if we're gonna hold this breakout price, the halt price to the upside, 44.40, I'd like to see one more test. You're still seeing a bit of a heavy bid on GameStop, and I saw in the chat, and there was a really great comment about seeing the different trading styles. The thing about a move, when it's moving like this and the stock is doing that much volume, it will give you multiple trading styles. There's like all different kinds of things you can do. If the stock's not moving, then there's not much you can do. I'll give you an example because it's the easiest thing I could say. Like the way BlackBerry's trading right now, I'm just using this example because it's not moving. There's only one way you could possibly trade this. You'd have to somehow make spread, grab rebates. Like there's not much you can do because absolutely nothing is happening. But the way GameStop is trading right now, you can be taking every big red candle dip in, like you could do this and say it dips in here, or going long to that stop. You can take consolidation breaks and then give it back to break even, which is essentially what I'm doing. You can buy and hold along a trend line. You can maybe slap some, I don't use Fibonacci's, but maybe you can use those to your advantage here. You could have just dip bought a VWAP and said, who cares about everything else? There's so many different opportunities when a stock is moving, and that's what you want to take advantage of. It's all about the opportunity in the stock market. And at the end of the day, it should seem obvious, but this is why there's nothing else other than GameStop. At least for myself this afternoon, outside of BlackBerry and Hertz, those did move. That was a one-shot deal on on BlackBerry.
DocuSign tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Giddy up.
With DocuSign, implied move here. Let's go over to Docu right here.
Let me
just see it's
12%.
Yeah, 9. So 9% on that one. Something called Rent is going. That's going to be expected to move 41%. What the hell is that?
That's Rent the Runway.
Oh, okay.
That's 23% short that stock.
Yeah, 40% expected move. IoT.
Sorry, 40?
Yeah, 41%. That's about it. So not much happening there today, but we'll still be there for it. And then look what just happened to Apple. Let's go. That was a good one for us on Apple, as that's starting to get down to the downside as well right now. So yeah, so far so good. Mara, Coinbase, what time is it? 3:36. All right. Let's just watch. I mean, honestly, I'm just really watching one stock. I'm not even going to try to pretend anything else. Let's see what happens with GameStop. I mean, I think it's probably the one that everybody's looking at. Again, you know, we know they have $2 billion in cash. You're bouncing off the 50-period moving average. You also hit VWAP there. That's why we initially went long. And to have diamond-handed from here would still have been great, but we actually added 3 times the shares. 3 times, yeah. So whatever we had here, we put on 3x right there on that break, and then now we're able to get out 1, 2, 3. So let's see if we can get another stop right there, a tranche through 48. I don't have any offers out. The only offer I have out is if we get clubbed out through now 44. We might as well just keep changing this. Now it's at 43.50. So our stop, I was just like, where's my stop? It was at 42.50. So now let's put this at 43.50 right now and just keep on trailing it up and get higher and higher and hopefully higher on this. So that's what I'm looking to do right now on GME. Let's just let it go into the open and then hold on into the close. We still don't have those imbalances. I mean,
There's nothing.
There's nothing. Okay. So then the other
Unless
trade.
you're in the BAC.
No, that won't do anything anyways. So right there, VWAP coming into play again. I'm waiting at 50 to short this. Like I'll take VWAP and then just give it like 15 cents. So something happening right there for that. So that's about it, man. That's about it. So GME right now, 46.10. Just waiting for this. Robinhood CEO speaking as we speak.
Yeah, I just checked. It's not moving. Robinhood, it pulled back, but it's not doing anything over there in the hood. It's still going to be the GameStop story as far as I'm concerned. I did look over at cost, and that was making a bit of a move. The other thing that someone in the chat said, you guys aren't looking at CrowdStrike. Not really, but there's a reason why. If I can get one more shot at GameStop, I'd rather do that. CrowdStrike just broke some support and just went red, so there it is. Crowd breaking through what looks like a flat bottom break at 342. It closed at 342. They had a great earnings report and might have run into some chop and some resistance here at 350, starting to pull back. But the chart looks fantastic for them. They probably just ran into a little bit of a double top on the daily for them. Okay, here comes 43, 43, 44. Okay, so it broke the, never mind. GameStop broke that halt level. I was looking for a bounce off this level, and then we'd have gone long, but it just broke through that 44.40 level. Let me just get rid of this trend line. That is completely useless. Don't need it now. So I need to see it hold that level. I don't want to punch short anything right now at about 340 to go, because if it holds here, it's going to rip some faces off. I'd rather look for one last long.
So I didn't even notice that because I just made like 2 or 3x whatever I would have made on GameStop on SMH. So let's go right there, right now. I mean, Neil just talked about, making sure that you're trading different things. We're going to be like 4 for 4 here in the afternoon, just by trading exactly what we're doing. And we already talked about, the style that we are, and then we got that question, what made you turn into this? I mean, this is just putting in work, reading charts, sitting here, looking at things, and trying to get it all figured out, right? So SMH right there came back in, and we had looked at NVIDIA. I just thought that NVIDIA is a little bit of a spicy meatball at some of these levels there. So we'll have to wait for that. And again, not doing anything. It's not at VWAP, so we go over to something that is at VWAP. And then, with diamond hands comes outs. And there it is, 43.50 break. We get out of that one, so we do give up it all the way to the top. But at the end of the day, we take that dollar at the end, which kind of does suck. This could be a reload spot. The minute we knew that Robinhood was speaking on this, it's just, like, I'd rather just hear that they're done, and then I can go back into the long. But for right now, I mean, what if they talk about suspending accounts, or I don't know what they're doing. So we'll wait to see. We could actually get a halt there because that was 47.
I was about to say the
47 down. So you need to go down $5. So 42. We come in pretty close. I mean, if that gets to $42 right now, we could go into that halt. So let's wait to see what does happen right there. But yeah, Kevin Mendoza, I mean, there it is right here. It's the Apple short. I mean, do you want a banger or not? Like this Apple trade, I mean, we put it on right in front of everybody, and that's huge. SMH, I mean, I hope articulately, something like that, described exactly this trade. I said, I'm waiting for VWAP. VWAP came, and as some people say around here, boom, or bang goes the dynamite on that one. And then GME, again, huge trade despite getting out $1 ago. Bleh. On there. And then actually I guess we'll go 3 for 4 because Starbucks, although Starbucks wasn't that big of a hit because we did get out, we still wind up negative on it because of that reload, then out for 10 cents. So yeah, that one we will be red on. But let's just wait to see what happens here for SMH. I mean, if we can really get low on this, including an NVIDIA break lower, then yeah, man. I mean, let's see NVIDIA get back into these lows with an imbalance. Ooh-wee, would we be pretty good? Blow the cow, says Ozan. I think he means do this.
Show the cow, he probably meant.
So there it goes. Now, he probably meant what he meant there. But there it goes, Ozan. You get it. I mean, when we're having a good day, we'll do it no matter what kind of day we're having. But there's SMH, just a ho-hum, another 50-cent winner right there. And honestly, we had about 10x the shares on SMH than we had on GameStop. So it's all good over here. Just wish we would have held on to that GME. Congrats, anybody that's following.
Yeah, wow, what a bounce on GameStop as well. I just saw an interesting number. Roaring Kitty's a billionaire at 70. Maybe lock that one up. Think about that for a second. He's a billionaire at $70 on paper for GameStop. It just dipped into 43. It was a little quick. I thought it might go into a halt down and was maybe looking for a false halt if it could have gotten to 42. A false halt means it gets to the halt band and then resists the halt band and then reverses, for anyone that isn't unfamiliar with that. But I might have just missed the opportunity, maybe not fast enough on the keys. I really only traded a couple things this afternoon. There was that Hertz trade, but it was mostly GameStop. And I feel like tomorrow is going to be a very big GameStop kind of day. If you're still tracking NVIDIA, which I know some people are, It tried to break 1205. Remember we said 1205? We were asked about 1205 into 1210. It broke 1205, went all of 40 cents, and right back lower. So that's what this level is giving you on NVIDIA after all of that turmoil and nonsense today. You're essentially doing nothing on NVIDIA. Not that bad over in AMD, but you got to be able to stay in the pocket. And I'd rather look for an opportunity and maybe not find them in GameStop. Since the halt at that high, 1, 2, actually stopped out here, like that looks terrible, but get back in where you can. So the next breakout ended up being good. That was clean. That one lost, and we then got back in again. So you take multiple trades if you can find them, but you don't have to force it. There's always going to be something out there for everybody. I'm just going to go back just so you can see. Hertz took out VWAP. Wasn't much happening. It eventually got to VWAP and pull back in, but higher lows. So Hertz is going to end up down, but right back into some support. And I looked at that rent. Forget about the 40% expected. That thing went 140% the last time. But it is stupid, illiquid. Rent the runway.
Yeah,
it sounds exciting. Oh my goodness, a 40% and went 140 last time. It's done 109,000 shares, and there's not even a print. Like I just pulled it up. Still, there was the first print. It took all of like 10 seconds for like the first print for me to see on the tape. This really doesn't trade. So it's exciting, but unless you're a swing trader, maybe there's options or something that could be a trade for you on Rent the Runway, because this is absolutely dead. Wow, GameStop, right back into the highs. Maybe 50 in the aftermarket.
Yeah, it's too bad, because we did want to hold on to that, but it did crank lower for us. But honestly, man, like if there was 99 problems, definitely trading is not one of them for me here today into this afternoon. I mean, look at Apple go lower, man. We called these lower moves. And so, just like we sort of sit here and be like, why did we short it? Why did we short it? We're losing. We're going to win today on the short. So it made a little bit more sense there as the market was underneath the VWAP and we weren't really fighting anything. So pretty comfortable. We are waiting for those imbalances to come through. And then, as we said tonight, it'll be Adara and I on the recap show. And we've got some good guests lined up, including Miss Danielle Shay. So she'll be coming through later. And I was just messaging her because I got a stock I'm going to ask her about, and it's John Deere. Okay, so right into here right now. Just quickly, we just released this as well, so check that out from Trader TV Live. Another great little clip from our podcast, so go check that out right now, Freedom and Wealth. That's already come through, and we've talked about that a lot. So go make sure you have a quick look at that as these imbalances are coming out. And these are the market on closing imbalances. So we'll just see nothing on NASDAQ here until 350. And then they'll all update, and you'll get not just broker quotes, you'll get NASDAQ quotes. You can see these are from 9:30. So they will update, and then we'll be kicking with those back in. So we did only get out of, well, actually, I can find out how many shares we did short up there. Okay, so we have only about 25% left. As that just happened really quick. And again, you guys know that I will chase the P&L. So when that came back in like that quickly, we're able to get out and then hold. We're doing a lot better holding on to more shares. So I think this is a good example of that. We make sure we capture that profit and come back in. That is Apple and SMH. Oh man, it's been a good day. But interesting here in the afternoon with GameStop for sure. $46 still pumping around.
Unbelievable. So obviously, we're here, and I'm not paying attention. I'm not listening to whatever got said by the CEO of Robinhood. It's not tanking. It's just a bit of a pullback. Just so you know, the CEO of Robinhood was talking on CNBC, and you can probably find those comments like somewhere on the Twitter machine. But the real story is that the fact that GameStop is going to get all the way back to the high is complete insanity. I echo the point in the chat that it's good if NVIDIA holding this 1200 level is a very good sign. It might not be doing anything. I know it looks like it doesn't look fantastic, but the fact that it can close above, like remember where this is coming from. So to dip right back into the breakout price at 9:30 yesterday, which when you zoom out, this is the reason why I'm pointing this out. When you zoom out, this was an early break at 1185. Look where the turn ended up being. Yesterday's break at the open and the 9:30 high was at 85. It double tapped that same level, and then the big key level of 12, it's going to try to close above that 12 level. What two levels do you think I'm going to be keyed on in tomorrow? 1185 and 1200. That's simple. Keep it simple is the easiest way to go. It's definitely a good sign for them. If you're just tuning in now, then you probably missed a lot when it comes to GameStop. 12 o'clock tomorrow is when Roaring Kitty is going to have his live stream. No idea what he's going to say, but I can promise you this. I'm going to have GameStop level 2 up. I'm going to be maybe tuning into it or just sort of following the price action. That's what it's all about here. I don't know if it's going to be a sell the news event. I don't know if it's going to be a big ramp to the upside. We could be gapping up. We could be gapping down going into it. So you've just got to play it by ear. This morning, there's no way I would have thought we'd start buy dip buying at 32, be out of that thing after a 35 long that we got out at 35.70 right before it went ham. And then suddenly we'd be buying 42 and buying 40 and buying 42 and buying 45. You do not know what the day is going to give you. Just be mentally flexible and mentally agile so that you can adjust to whatever the market is giving you in that moment. When it starts going parabolic, you've got to trade it differently. When it's in a tight range, you make that adjustment as well. But obviously GameStop is in the other of those. It is not range-bound trade. Got about 5 seconds, and then we're going to get these imbalances coming in. The early looks, like I said, BAC, unless you're into that, it was a sell of 1.7, so we don't care about BAC. Microsoft, 1 million to the buy side. Pfizer, not a big deal. Apple is 650,000 buy side. Tesla is 600,000 to the sell side. So Microsoft, million buy. Apple, 600,000 buy. Tesla, 600,000 sell. That is all the names that matter. Amazon, small buy, 400,000. GameStop still moving. Let's just double check.
It's 45.50.
I don't know if Microsoft did anything on that. It's a million. That's not a bad number. It went up like 70 cents or so on Microsoft. The other day, Microsoft was like 4 million to the buy side. You saw it really do a ramp job. 1 million shares on a Thursday, random Thursday. Probably going to pair off. I don't think there's much of a trade there.
All right, just quickly, so Apple making moves here. I mean, Apple goes upside and then goes downside right now. We did get stopped out of SMH, which is completely fine, man. I mean, we didn't average back into it. We talked about it. Sucks to take that last little L, but if you're holding something into 350, I mean, that's kind of as expected there. So, yeah, hit the like, hit the subscribe, get all of that pumping for sure. As Apple actually starting to go lower here for me. Wow, we are now 60 cents now. Wow. I'm like, why? I just took an L on SMH, but again, what's happening with Apple right now is really starting to make a move down. Nice move in. Effective date tomorrow, 1 for 10 stock split.
Dates
okay, so I don't know what Nvidia's prices are going to be, but here we go. We have $1 right there. We have Apple dollar. So there it goes. Nice downside move coming in for us. I don't know. I'll just do the shrug again. Nice move downside for Apple as it's coming back in. Let's just, okay, Apple, you are welcome to come to this party because it is a sweet downside party right now for them.
It was a buy and it immediately paired.
Yeah, so there goes Apple, man. I mean, put that one on the damn board. I mean, if you're with us right now, then you just got another one. You've had GameStop, you've had SMH, you have Apple right now. These are some trades this afternoon, boy. We be doing good. And let's just put that bid out right now and take it right there. You can get into the gates of hell, Apple. Not too far, though,
bye-bye.
Because I likey that stocky, but that's a nice downside move here.
Could we still lose the bet?
Apple.
I don't know.
I am a little.
See where Apple got to on the daily chart? Oh my
I am
goodness.
a little nervous about that bet because.
So here's the weekly chart.
worldwide
The bet was Apple versus Tesla, who gets to 200 first. Obviously, Tesla can make a $25 move easier than Apple can in either direction. That's just the way. But look at what Apple's done at this high. It's yeah, the weekly chart 3 times. It's a triple top up here. Tesla just has to have a good week, and it gets to that point. Apple's finding. And what happened there, that reversal, it's not the first time that we've seen a buy turn to a sell or a sell get into a bigger sell at the end of the day on Apple. So good look on that one. I think maybe we just looked for some longs on Apple at 350, 351 because it was a buy imbalance and it came out. Everything was a buy. Nvidia went to 1210. Nvidia just broke 1210, so that actually bounced. The NASDAQ is almost going green. Think about this for a second. Apple's at the low of the day and breaking lower. The NASDAQ's trying to go green right now. Wild. The NASDAQ was a 500 million to the buy side. The SPY was like a very, very small sell. So I give you a little bit of a divergence there. So with only about 6 or 7 minutes to go, I still have eyes just to see where GameStop is going to close. it is going to be a big one for sure tomorrow. I'd really hope we just kind of hang out right here. I don't even want GameStop to move. I just want it to be trading right here at 45, right here at 46, so that 50 is intact tomorrow. Because if we gap up and we're like 55, 60, I'm usually not a fan of that kind of trade because it gaps up too far and it's already taken the big level, and then you're not, the options for entries aren't as obvious. And I like easy trades. Kind of like, it's just, 40 break, 1,200 on Nvidia, 50 on GameStop. One can hope. That's all I can say.
Yeah, one can definitely hope. We hope that you guys will join us again tomorrow, so make sure you do that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Make sure you get that coming through ASAP. And there's many reasons why I love my wife, but she just sends me a message right now that just simply says bang. So bang. Right back at you, right there. And we'll be having a good night tonight for sure, as the kids have chess and golf, is it? No, it can't have both. That would be the same kid. Two things happening tonight. Oh, swimming. That's what it is. It's golf, it's chess and swimming tonight. So that should be fun.
I still didn't.
And then the weather's pretty good outside though right now. Nice move there for Apple with only 5 minutes to go. Quick look on GameStop. We wish we were still in this name, man, but we had got out when it broke that 50 period and should have just bought it right back up on a rejection. Like any other stock, I would have bought it back up. But then again, that SMH just popped in and we started printing like crazy on that one. And then you can see what happens with Apple, but there goes GameStop trying to break through 48, and it will do that. It will do this in the after hours. I think like you're going to get to $55, $56 immediately after hours.
The key is you can't halt, right?
Let's wait to see. Yeah, I mean,
less is less in the way of it.
Yeah,
in either direction.
The halt. Actually, there was 3 halts. I mean, yeah, 3 halts right there on the way down. So we'll see what winds up happening there. But less liquidity, I think, is part of it. And here goes 47. Damn you. Damn that one drop and coming on Fox. Because honestly, like that, we should still be in it and we wanted to be in it. So my bad on that one as we go. But yeah, so far so good. Great moves today on Robinhood. I mean, we had that long and nailed that long off the open. That was a great one. One name that we didn't look at all was Intel. So where is
go to 30?
INTC? I have no idea.
No, it didn't.
No, not even. Yeah, pretty boring there today, but it does get down to a nice little level there. Could have been bought at $30, but I'm not looking for the long on that. And then Nvidia, the big bang today was Nvidia, $31 winner on that one. So I don't, we're having a good day right now. I'm just losing my voice. I mean, yelling last night at baseball and then here today with you guys. We'll still do the recap show, of course, and we'll be here for that today and tomorrow.
New high of day. There it is. Right through the high is GameStop. It didn't even occur to me that dump was exactly when the Robinhood CEO started talking. I don't know what he said, but I guess there was something that got said in there that obviously spooked it to the downside. I don't wonder if he said something right after that might have given you a bit of a reversal, and that's an advantage. Like sometimes you do get that. Kevin Mendoza, will we live stream Roaring Kitty tomorrow? I mean, we probably. I mean, I'm sure we can. I'm assuming he's doing it on. He's probably going to be on YouTube himself. We've had it simultaneously when the Fed's talking, all that good stuff. We'll be here live trading the stock regardless, hanging on pretty much every single word. I just can't imagine what it is. Okay, so here's my projection. He's going to say that he hasn't sold anything and hasn't intended on selling anything. Outside of that, I have no clue what else he would say. He's probably going to comment on the nonsense that they're trying to save with manipulation. So I would expect he should rightfully defend himself when it comes to that. But I have no idea what he's going to say. We just try to trade price action. If it goes nuts, we trade it. If it doesn't move, we don't trade it. It's that simple. We'll go back over to Nvidia as well. And if maybe it's going to move a little bit more. It did pop into VWAP, so that 205 break eventually happened, but it was like right at 350. I didn't see Nvidia on the imbalance locator, but right when it came out, just took that 1205, which it was not doing the whole morning or the afternoon, and then got right into VWAP. So congratulations, if you really, really waited for that one and then punched it at the end, Nvidia is going to close over that 1200, which I love. But the more important thing, and I'm guilty of this, I'm very, very guilty of this, I did not take that extra step of zooming out. I liked the 1200 level because it was obvious on a dip buy, and then when it got to 1185, I wasn't even considering that that's where the stock broke out from yesterday on the way to 1200, and then it turns into a double bottom. It's so easy to get wrapped up when you're looking at the chart and looking at the intraday and you don't take 2 seconds to zoom it out. And sometimes taking a couple of seconds to zoom it out is everything. Like when you look at GameStop, if you're a scalp trader, why was I trailing it here at the 47 level? It was pretty simple. I just did this and was like, okay, well, if it turns here, I'm getting out. And it ended up being a good high. When in doubt, zoom out. 1 minute to go. It's been a great one, been a wild one. Tomorrow's going to be even wilder, or more wild, I should say, as I would suspect with Friday, options expiration, Roaring Kitty at 12 o'clock, NVIDIA effective date for the split, last day to trade it in the thousands as well.
Yeah, it should be fun. With only 30 seconds to go, I will flip over there and get back to the desk. But Adara, you now have 20 seconds. So she will go over there and ring the bell. But I guess Ramin or somebody or Fabian.
Anybody.
Where's Fabian? He's not there. He's
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
He's out here.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so here we go. 30 seconds left. Oh, he's gone?
Yeah, he's back on Tuesday.
Great, I noticed. Okay, so here we go. Let's get ready to go with only 15 seconds left. Ring that bell.
Love Ramin. Let's ring that bell on what's been an awesome Thursday, awesome afternoon, awesome day for all the apes out there. Adara, let's bring it to an end. No, not really an end. In 2 and 1, ring it. The market is closed. Oh, we don't quite get to 47 for the close. It is a double top up here on GameStop. Looks like 46 and a half. Clearly something else was moving going into the close as well. GameStop trying to press 47. Just made a fresh test of the high of the day. I think this has a chance to go. There is 100,000 shares on the offer at 48 on GME, just for everybody that's obviously still in this one. It was 100,000 shares. I just saw 100,000 on the offer. There it is. 100,000 on the offer at 48. So clearly there's some liquidity. Somebody to get through an order like that in the aftermarket is a challenge. It'll chew through an order like that in the regular market. But when you see 100,000 committed on the offer after 4 o'clock, that's what caused that little move into the downside. If they fill that, dude, you could see 50, no questions asked. As we mentioned, Fabian already gone, having a long weekend. We wish him all the best. But Ramin, doing a great job, I think. You're not messing anything up. I think you're doing a fantastic job. We want to thank you. Big shout out to Brendan. Big shout out, of course, to Frank, our guest, and another great interview, dropping knowledge by him. Adara is also going to be taking a long weekend, so all the hard work she put in deserves that rest. Shout out to Sharif, talking about short squeezes all week long, and then we get GameStop. It can't get any better than that. The market recap, NVIDIA. You've got some earnings aftermarket tonight as well. GameStop going crazy. We've got Danielle Shay. We've got Sean. We've got Adara at the desk. Let's go.
All right, welcome to the Market Recap Show. Adara, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. We just got a nice little GameStop bump there in the afternoon, which gave me some nice little thrilling trades, and that was a lot of fun right now. So we'll watch out to see what GameStop is doing right now. $46 right here. We did load up our trades as well, so we can check out what a live GameStop look is right now. $46. We will be watching this here tonight, so watch out for GME here in the after hours. You know what I'm going to do for everybody? Forget about this. This is the best part about it being your show. You just do whatever you want. So we're going to keep GameStop up here for you as the show goes. So you see how you think GameStop is being blocked? No, it's not. So we'll just watch out right here on the top. You can see GameStop pricing right here, 46, 46.14. Maybe I'll even bring this down a little bit right there so we can see the level 2 maybe a little bit better. And that's GameStop right here into the open. So we will find out what's going on with GME, Adara. So that should be nice.
I like that.
All right, yeah, we'll do
Man
it.
of the people, like keeping GME up there.
That's right. Yeah, man of the people. I like that. Thank you. All right. So we have Rent, I guess, just came out. We are waiting for DocuSign is going to be another one. But you highlighted this on our screen. Rent now up 16%. Rent the Runway. Nice little mover there. On the daily chart, let's go see what Rent looks like. I don't know anything about this stock, but this is an earner. Yeah, nice move there. Okay, so that's a 60-minute. Now the daily, bottom of 5, up to $30, huh?
Yeah, they're a weird one on the daily, which is why I wanted to put them on here, and also why I wanted to put them in the week ahead, which you would have seen if you saw the week ahead. I did mention this stock, mostly just because of that move last time. Their previous move was a jaw-dropping 161.9%.
Danielle Shay will be joining us. Thank you for that on Rent. We have over 4,000 watching again right now. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe as we're right here right now. And that is Rent. You can see here, we are doing it for the people right now. Bang, bang, and more bang as there's 47. I wish I was still in GME, but as you can see, it is to the top side right now. $47 coming through now on GameStop. So Adara, let's go over some different sectors that have been popping off lately as well. Today, silver back up to the upside. Nice move up to $28, $29. Gold is right here as well, up 3.5%. As the story changes today, we get from some rate-sensitive spots into now gold starting to go back up. NASDAQ was going to be green at the end of the day today as well. SMH down 0.79 right there. So again, Nvidia, some downside plays. I said the Qs were positive. Were they at the end? Maybe not-ish, but relatively flat day there for the NASDAQ. So not bad. USO bouncing off again a little bit. We talked about that bottom and how we liked some oil names, XOM, so on and so forth. For me, though, we wait for DocuSign. I've liked DocuSign down here, Dara. I think they are a decent buyout candidate. They get a bump there on a possible buyout on the daily chart. I know there's Ramin. Thank you. I know she's getting busy with. It's only Ramin right now. So Fabian gone for the weekend.
Shout out to Ramin.
Where are you going this weekend, by the way?
I'm going to
Up north, around.
Yeah, it's kind of near up northish. It's like slightly closer than where I normally go.
Oh, yeah.
I normally go, so slightly closer than that.
Let's not tell everybody exactly.
That's why- that's why I was
You're gonna
thinking
have
that,
like
yeah.
some drones following
Right,
you.
that's why I was like, you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good right there. All right, so yeah, XLI, some of the industrials coming back down a little bit as well. I want to ask my good friend about Deere and Company. Cyclical name there, not a great earnings report. My dear friend, Danielle Shay.
Ramin and I are becoming like the pun people, the punsters.
Yeah.
I love it.
You guys
Shout out to Ramin.
you guys are too punny together.
Woo.
All right, let's see what's happening with DocuSign right now. It looks like DocuSign is now out, and why isn't it flipping over to the 1 minute chart? Let's just do it ourselves right now. The 1 minute chart on DocuSign. We'll slap a little bit of a fail on that one as we get into $49 right now. Are the numbers out there, Adara?
Yeah, and they're pretty spicy, and
All right.
I don't even think a bad way necessarily. We do have their first quarter fiscal financial results, including a $1 billion increase to their share repurchase program, taking a key from Lululemon, which did the exact same thing yesterday, the exact same amount, adding $1 billion to their share repurchase program. The only other number I'm seeing from them right now, we did get revenue higher than expected, $709.6 million versus the estimate of $707.5 million. That is going to be a beat. Gross margin of 78.9. Again, not seeing all the numbers coming down through yet, but that buyback, not necessarily a bad look, and we did get a beat on revenue.
The nice little EPS beat, sales beat. Why did it go down? I don't know, but we'll wait. And the buyback. So right now, DocuSign, here it is. They see Q2 revenue of 725 to 729 versus 726. So possibly there's a low end there that they miss on. Sees revenue low to in line as well. So again, the guide is low to in line for DocuSign. So a good quarter, not a great guide there for DOCU. So again, a pretty good name there. I like it. Over 3,800 of you watching right now. We still have GameStop up here, so we'll say bang on that one and see if GameStop wants to continue its move northbound as well there today. NVIDIA keeps going. I mean, I don't know. Nice move into the close, 12.10. We had a great short on that one today. Over $30 from here off of VWAP, and it was 12.23. It was actually right here all the way down. So that turned out to be a good trade. We'll see if NVIDIA can sort of hold fort tomorrow. Last day trading, then we come in on Monday, Adara, and this gets divided by 10. So that's also true of options, and we can talk to Danielle about that. So instead of having one contract, you'll get 10 contracts, and then the same thing will divide to the price and the premium. So watch out for that if you are trading NVIDIA and you have calls or puts or whatever you have heading into next week. You will see those flip over and get changed up. The volume going to be real spicy on that name for sure. All right. So there's GameStop. Let's just go over some names that potentially moved here today and go over some talk. So, you know, the markets did have a pretty good day today. Nvidia down 1.14%. All new time high for the NASDAQ at the beginning of the day were sparked by Nvidia taking out that 1250. But then we dumped off that level below 1200, as we have to remember that the FTC and the Department of Justice, DOJ there, are investigating some of the anti-competitive concerns, which I think is a load of crap. Some major stocks also fought around today, including Apple starting to go a little lower. Apple up, Google up, Apple down, Google up, Microsoft up, Meta down. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mixed offering there, including Netflix also down, CRM, really loving CRM off that bottom from earnings. You know, utilities downside there, large companies like Constellation downside, Amazon, Tesla, Nike, and Chipotle all upside. Amazon up 2%, wow, what a move. I don't even know why we didn't look at Amazon. Look at Costco, 1% today, and Walmart, a nice move. But yeah, Amazon huge, Tesla 165 down there. Procter & Gamble. A little bit of a mixed story there today, Dara, but Eli Lilly is 836. Are you kidding me? I'm not even trying to look at this name. We recently bought this one, as you know, Dara, because we did the work on this.
We did.
And it was down before earnings, down here at, or just after earnings, I believe it was. No, it was into earnings, right?
Before earnings, yeah.
It was into earnings, down here at $700, and then it was nothing but love from there. Cannot believe we actually have this bottom on Eli Lilly. We had first started to buy it in the 300s, but at the end of the day, a good little reload opportunity there. And the one stock that is like, we made such a great call on Meta by selling it before earnings. But guess who didn't buy it back? Hey, it's me. We're the anti-hero for Meta because we do not buy that back. And now it's all the way there and saying, well, good thing you bought some other things. One thing that's been going to the downside, Snowflake, they had their earnings report. We were cruising with it because we had bought it like 152 or so upside. Earnings disappointed. We could have got out of it. Then they had some sort of a conference or something last couple days, something. And now we're getting to the downside there. 52-week lows for Snowflake, not looking very good at all. This could be a quick exit, man. I mean, we bought some the other day at 136. Maybe it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And now Snowflake on the weekly, looking like it is. Oh, this is such a stupid pun. Snowflake looking like it's going to melt. No, not good, Adara.
I liked it.
When they're easy, they're, you know. All right, what's going on with GameStop right now? As you can see right here, we have 46.38 bouncing around. GameStop just touched flushed, actually, down to 44. We're going to keep GameStop up here as we go so everyone can make sure that they're watching it and seeing what is going on. So any other earnings coming out? I don't think we have much going on right now. There's Snowflake Daily looking pretty yucky right there. I'll go over to a 1-minute chart. What was your best trade today?
So I had Lululemon.
NVDL, didn't you? Oh, you had Lululemon.
NVDL was not bad either, but my Lululemon, that was my favorite one. So initially got involved, 325.13. I know really specific number, but I set a dip buy. Let it live its life. Then I look at my position board. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got filled. How is it doing? Like, keep in mind, this was like 5 minutes apart. Like, I still wanted to be in the trade. I just didn't realize. And I like staying like, Adara, don't panic sell. You're exactly at your level. You're all good. And so I breathed. It ended up working out. I added to the position, not necessarily at the level I wanted to, but I didn't want to get out because I still wanted to add eventually. And it turns out it was good. I added to the level I wanted to. It wouldn't have gotten any lower. Took out half the position for $1.25, the rest of it for $1.50 in the money. Happy with the trade. And then NVDA, that was pretty sweet as well. It took like 70 pennies, which I was not prepared for. But yeah, it was a planned trade. Again, it just moved really fast. It's
funny, yeah, we didn't talk about Lululemon. They had a decent move, and then they only
recovered nicely.
Yeah, recovered back in, but they started off pretty good. And I know Danielle and I have talked about this name as well. It still looks pretty broken. You know, not a great recovery. I mean, a decent recovery, but you know, from where it was yesterday off earnings, we had Lululemon really starting to rocket there on that report. I mean, I left and I saw you and Neil doing this trade yesterday, or covering this trade on earnings. Nice move to the upside there. Small little buyback, I thought, attached with Lululemon, but the quarter wasn't the greatest. And then look what happened right off the open, a huge flush, and then a nice retracement off the 200 period moving average on a 15-minute chart. So looking pretty good there. Y Brothers United also saying Snowflake is the biggest loser in his portfolio. On today's sticky note, though, we had Palantir, baby, as a long, and that one worked all day. So I own significantly more of Palantir than I do of Snowflake, but I do like that name. I'm just gonna have to figure out more what's going on with it. One name that I gotta ask more people about too is Schlumberger. I mean, if you're gonna talk about some energy space, this name just gets destroyed down to the downside. Just a small dividend of 2.5%, but SLB to the downside. And for everybody watching for the first time, I'm going to get the Freedom and Wealth podcast going up right now so I can show it to you. We're really, really proud of everything that we've been doing with the Freedom and Wealth podcast, and that's only on YouTube right now. So I actually can't find it because I'm not on the right page, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. You can find us all on all those socials, which would be able to show you that. That's funny. In the chat there, that's a S-no-man. So no,
I liked that.
No to snow right there. USO with oil, just because we're talking about it. Nice downside play there on USO. But I mean, I see her waiting, and it'll be really foolish for me not to bring her on. So why don't we just do that, Adaro? How do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
All right, well, if you think it is, and so do I. It's Trader Talk. Let's go. Okay, Miss Danielle Shay, how are you doing on this fine Thursday?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day over here. How are you two?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, it is.
Really well.
It actually
It's a
is.
fun week.
It's been a fun week. Yeah, it's gorgeous weather here as well. So nice to see. Oh, I didn't ask you last time. What's up with the turkeys right now? Are they coming back? Have they found a mate? Is there anything going on with the turkeys in your backyard?
Okay, so we figured out how to make friends with the turkey. He kept coming up to our house, looking in the windows, gobbling at us, and it turns out he loves canned corn. So
There we
my
go.
10-year-old, my 10-year-old goes outside. He wakes us up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he feeds him corn, and now he just comes right up to us.
Perfect. Hey, that's perfect. Domesticate some turkeys around there. I like that. That's a good move. All right, Danielle, on this kind of theme, this is a name that I've talked to you about before. It's going to be Deere & Company. I like this position for many reasons, but it's fallen down. They did not have a good earnings report there. They've come back in. It's a very cyclical name coming through for Deere. And then as we've seen the US dollar have this move, oil have this move down, I'm wondering if it's just sort of economic slowdown maybe that people are projecting coming through in the second half of the year, which is not going to be good for many of these names in industrials, agriculture, such as John Deere. But any opinions on this recent move down? I always get FOMO off that 350 level, but we're kind of there right now. Are we buying more of this or letting it settle down?
Looking at John Deere, I mean, I completely agree with you. It's, pretty cyclical in nature, and it's been lackluster. I was looking over my stock portfolio last night, and, John Deere hasn't really been doing too much for me lately. But you know what? Whenever a strong company is like that, especially if you look at a weekly chart and you can see that it's been consolidating for a while, that is typically the spot where you want to build a long-term stock position, right? I mean, it's so fun to trade GameStop and Nvidia and stuff like that, but we don't really want to be building long-term stock positions at these levels. But with something like John Deere, it'll come back. And I mean, this weekly chart, it looks strong. We have consolidation. We're holding up on the 200 simple right here. I like the 350 price point. It's still holding above 350. Definitely if it fell below 300, I would say, okay.
Yeah,
The trend has shifted here, but I think at this spot, it's a good spot to be continuing to buy long shares.
Okay, I like that too. I was just looking at Caterpillar pulling in, but not near some of those levels like we do see for John Deere. And I think there is opportunity in both of these names for sure. So thank you, Miss Danielle Shay. It's only Ramin working the cameras here today as we're pretty busy. So thank you for the patience on that one. Yeah. Oh, what about Deere versus Caterpillar? People are asking that in the chat. Have you ever thought about things like that? Do you stick with one name in the space? Do you sometimes rotate in and out? I know you just mentioned it's a long-term play, but Caterpillar to me looks a little healthier on the chart as we're not pushing some of those levels. Do you like that name as well by any chance?
Sure, I can pull up Caterpillar here. So, I mean, I do like both of the names. John Deere is the one that I've been building a bigger stock position in, just because, I mean, typically when I'm looking at a company like this, I'm trying to dollar cost average on a regular basis. And John Deere is a position that I started several years ago. So that's just one that I've been building. But I mean, if you look at Caterpillar honestly looks even better, especially over the course of the last 2 years. I mean, Caterpillar just recently made a new high. It's pulled back into the 34 EMA. It's pretty oversold. I also like to look at, of course, fundamentals. when you're looking at buying a long-term stock. And if you compare and you look at Caterpillar, I think the one thing that I've had difficulty with it is just because it's gapped down so many times after earnings, but they have a regular history of beating EPS estimates. So typically I like to see strong companies beating EPS estimates, trading higher after earnings, continuing to trade higher after, the initial gap up. I like to see a long-term bullish trend on a weekly and a monthly chart. And I do like to see increasing dividends as well. So that's typically my criteria. But honestly, now that I'm looking at Caterpillar, I mean, it looks even better than John Deere right now. But that being said, it's closer to the highs.
Right.
So John Deere would have a better, lower buying point, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you could sprinkle on both. There's ETFs as well that we can get involved with. Last time we were on here, we talked a little bit about CrowdStrike. Did you see that report? Like, it got hit in the after hours and then made it all the way back up. And then it was expected implied move, I think, of 12% or so. It had a lot of intraday moves. Here it is right here. Nice pullback into the $300 level on the chart there. And if we go back over and just flip this into like a 15-minute chart, you'll see there's that little wick down for some reason. Then we just started to pop. CrowdStrike continues to work right now. We like Palo Alto around here, and I know that we've talked about CRWD. Did you have any videos out about this play? I know it was something that was well talked about on our show. CrowdStrike looks like it wants to go higher from here. I like the stock.
You know what's so funny with you asking me about a video is I was on Fox Business and I said, I'm buying Palo Alto because Nancy Pelosi is the best trader out there. And suddenly my connection got completely cut.
Yeah, what was that? I don't hear you anymore. Danielle, we are freezing. No, we'll never do that to you around here, but what a surprise that did happen there. Yeah, we could talk about all those positions at all times, but I like Palo Alto and CrowdStrike, but that's a hilarious story. Maybe we should no, we won't clip that and put that out. But no, we won't. All right, so
on my YouTube channel, it's like pretty funny. It's
it's already on your YouTube.
Pelosi is the best trader. Follow her.
Yeah, that's it. I like it. People in the chat are probably going crazy. They love that. They're going to kick out of that, so that's a good one. All right, so you like PanW and CrowdStrike. You like the space. A little bit extended, possibly, as we come right back into the highs. But I like stocks that are near the highs and looking to break out, especially on a report that was well received. I think CrowdStrike goes higher. Are we crazy to think that?
No, I don't think you're crazy to think it at all. I love the move in CrowdStrike. I like the space. It's definitely a volatile space, but hey, who doesn't love a little bit of volatility? And if you look at CrowdStrike, I mean, I think that the buy the dip was perfect. I love seeing that kind of move where you kind of pull back after an earnings report and then buyers come in. That's the absolute best, especially when it's right at the 50 simple on the daily chart. That's a really good area of support. You're right at the $300 key psychological value as well. So, I mean, I think CrowdStrike is good for a trade. It looks like it actually already made 350. So then the next price target would just be where this previous high is. So it's going to be about 362. And then after that, you have your Fibonacci targets at 387, 400, 416. So, I just keep following it to the upside, but I like that one. And, Palo Alto is another one that, gapped down after earnings 2 quarters in a row, but it's still holding the 50 simple critical area of support. And there's a ways back to go back up to that previous high.
I mean, I think also heading into an election cycle, obviously, that we're in right now. I mean, I think cybersecurity and all that, definitely the macro tailwinds are there for that spot. And then everything that's unfortunately going on in the world, of course, same kind of way. All right, Danielle, I have a couple options related questions to ask you. We talked about this last week. It's on people's mind with NVIDIA going 10-1. So it's just true. You have one contract and all of a sudden you have 10 if we have that heading into the next week. And then the same sort of math happens with any of the premiums and whatnot that you're looking at the strike prices. So that's it, right? Is there anything else that I need to know?
No, I mean, I would just stick with the key psychological values. The times where people get into trouble, and it's a lot easier when it's a 10-1 split because it's gonna be a lot
Divide
more
up easy.
Equal when it splits. But when you can get into trouble is when the number doesn't divide equally. So if you just have some random strikes and then after the split, that value is not going to be a value that has a lot of volume, and it
Right.
makes it really hard to get out of your options trades. So, you know, for example, if you have a 1200 strike, that's going to split really evenly. So you'd probably be fine into 120. But that's just something that you'd want to keep in mind, because what's going to happen is after the split, all of the volume has to go into the new contracts, and there's going to be contracts that didn't have any volume. And in the options market, when you're trading, you absolutely need to have a couple hundred contracts at least of volume in the strikes you're trading. Otherwise, what happens is the spreads on the options are far too wide. And so, for example, the option could be going for a difference of $2 or $8. And then,
how do you make money?
You know, the spread's too wide. It makes it really hard to get out, and you can lose money even if your idea worked out well. So just stick with the key psychological values that are going to divide evenly, and that will probably still have volume in, or you can just wait until after the split and see where the volume is in the options contracts and trade it after that. That's going to be the easier option.
All right, so good call on that one. I mean, that's what we've been saying all day. Just kind of watch out for the different strike prices and figure it out yourself. Okay, look, we may have technical difficulties soon because I'm going to ask you about Roaring Kitty. So if all of a sudden we disconnect, you may or may not know why. I mean, but for right now, look, you mentioned that this is not everybody's style, and I don't think it's yours either to be hammering in to some of these options. But what do you make of all of this? I mean, I have the GameStop chart up right now. You know, Mr. Kitty, is that right? I don't know.
Mr. Kitty, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Purina. All right, so we'll find out here about tomorrow, because he's going live tomorrow midday on YouTube to start streaming stuff. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess we're going to see tons of volume. I'm going to assume GameStop's probably leading the way in the option market as far as open interest and maybe contracts traded. I could be wrong on that as well. But, I mean, it has to catch the eye of an options trader, doesn't it, GameStop? Or is this something that you just say, it's not really what I'm looking at? Or do sometimes you just say, let's have some fun and trade GameStop?
So, you know what's funny is I was looking at it because I had a CNBC segment earlier today and they wanted me to talk about GameStop. And originally I thought, oh man, you know, I never trade this name. And then I started looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like a great short squeeze. And I will help people. Like, I'm not trading it because I'm trying to follow Roaring Kitty, right? I was trading it because I looked at the pattern and this is exactly what I saw today. So first of all, it was up at the time. I don't know. I was trying to get into it when it was at like 35, 36. But here's the thing is when you see a ticker that has 25% short float, it's all over the news. Everybody's looking at it. It's already up 30% and it's right near a previous high. So in this instance, let's see, it was today, like right around this point right here. Whenever you see that and then you start seeing these wide range expansion candles, that's a spot where you have short sellers, they're buying to cover, they're trying to get out, and you have other people piling in. So it's like, I normally don't trade this stock, but I got so tempted and I had to get in. So I got in right when I got in before $40, which was actually right here where that previous high was. That's usually where you want to trade a short squeeze, because once it gets above a previous high, people are like, oh crap, you know, trying to get out. And that was where it was halted. So I got like half my position.
Nice.
It got halted. I did my segment. And, you know, now it's almost up to 50. Ideally, it'll probably gap up tomorrow. And hey, I want to tell you guys this too. So for GameStop, normally this stock will do this before earnings. So if you look at the pattern, like GameStop has a pretty good history of rallying before the report. It's like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing though. So it'll kind of rally before the report. And then on the report, it gets slammed because their earnings are not good. So I'm only trying to trade it.
We're having some disconnection issues. We're having some connection issues. Please don't talk about GameStop earnings at at all. Oh no, we're fading to black immediately. No, that's a good call. I actually forgot about earnings. We didn't even talk about earnings at all today. I had very similar trades right there. We had a 38 long, got out there at 40. Then we had 42 long, ran it upside, then got stopped out when we broke the 50-period moving average. And I think with lack of liquidity, I think we're north of 50 tomorrow at open with GME. Okay, we just got a super chat in our chat, and it's a question that I know Adara was looking to ask you about anyways, so let's flip it over.
Hi, Danielle. Hope you had a great day and a fun week because there was so much going on this week. I was already planning on asking you about this, but shout out to Ian Rispetto. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat saying, what does Danielle think about AVGO earnings next week, please? Because I know as well, I saw on Monday you mentioned these. I know you seem pretty excited. So what are your thoughts on these heading into the earnings?
I mean, I love the semiconductors and I love Broadcom. I'm a shareholder. The only thing I could say about it is I wish I had even more because this stock has just been absolutely phenomenal. Now, if you look at the earnings report that's coming up, you know, you're going to have a pretty big expected move on this stock. Right now, it's trading around 1,400. I have upside targets at 1,500 and 1,600, which make really good key psychological targets in the options market. I will say that last quarter, it was a little lackluster after earnings. It gapped down slightly and it pulled back. You know, it's not one of these stocks that moves a lot over the earnings report, even though it does have a very big expected move. So I might just end up selling like a neutral iron condor where I sell the calls and the puts and buy some outer wings for protection, looking for more of a neutral move in the options market. But ultimately, I love the company, love the stock, holding the shares. You know, I'm still going to target 1,500 to 1,600 as like a swing trade to the upside.
All right, Danielle, look, we love all that. I can't believe we went the whole show without talking too much about NVIDIA, so we won't really do that. I mean, that name just continues to go higher and higher and higher. We'll wait for Broadcom. Anything else on your mind before we go? I mean, I know you do have that lovely YouTube page that we talk about all the time. If you want to show that, any videos you're working on, I know you were taking some feedback from viewers and posting up videos. Are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, so I was recording a video yesterday. I was trading NVIDIA, made 100% on my NVIDIA butterfly where I was targeting 1,200. So that's the video I was working on publishing today. I'll probably get it done tomorrow at this point. I published my call earlier on GameStop, the trades that I was doing. So you can definitely check those out. And then I also started doing some longer term stock investing videos. And I made a video about AMD, which I'm still in editing on, but I'm going to be posting that about why I'm buying more long-term shares in AMD.
Danielle, thank you so much for coming on today. I don't know if it's just the way it is, but I feel like you're in a great mood, and I love that. So thank you so much for coming on the show here today, and it's been an absolutely great day for us here as well, and you just made it a lot better. So from everybody watching, thank you, Ms. Danielle Shay. Make sure that you go check her out over there on X at Trader Danielle, a huge friend of the show and definitely a friend of mine. So thank you, Ms. Danielle Shay. Have a great rest of your week and a happy Friday.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you later.
Ciao. That's Trader Talk. All right, all right, all right. I mean, I already put in the chat. Like, does it get much better than this?
No, this is awesome. Thank you so much to Danielle Shay for those comments. And yeah, I'm happy we were able to ask about Broadcom because I was planning on asking about that anyway. And shout out to Ian Rispetto for that super chat.
Yeah, that was really good. And we know that she had talked about it before. So yeah. So thank you, Danielle. Often she'll be in the chat. I don't know about today because we may be having some of those technical difficulties. Nah, never on our show, guys. Never on our show. Right now, oh my God, right now something's happening. Okay, so just quickly before we go, GameStop right here, 46.50 right now. That's what we're bouncing around at. It seems like it cannot break that wall at 48, but I believe it will. Let's just wait to see what happens here in the after hours. Markets close later on tonight, 7 o'clock. You'll get those last prints coming through, so we'll see that. And then tomorrow morning, we'll open back up at 7 again. Some exchanges different than that, but that's, you know, the volume levels. So we'll see tomorrow what's up with GameStop, and we'll be trading it for sure. And he's going on 12 o'clock, isn't he?
I believe.
I mean, I know you're not here tomorrow, which is,
so
you know.
sad.
But on that note, have a great weekend. And you're back Monday, or you're
back Tuesday? Yeah. So I'm missing the Apple, I'm missing the Nvidia stock split, I'm casually also missing this GME thing. I knew none of those things when I booked this off months ago. I am very disappointed in myself. Honestly, but I need to calm down.
Do not.
I'll have a good
The only person not allowed time off is me. You should be allowed to get your time off, and it's well deserved.
Thank you so much.
Again, you know, go rock that, and do not get FOMO, honestly, because I was in Italy with my wife, and this is when I was helping open up offices there in Italy.
Yeah.
Siena was absolutely lovely. We made our way into Rome as well. And I remember it was a rebalance day, so it was like a big one. It was in September, maybe it was September. And I was like, oh my God, I need to trade this rebalance. And of course, it's 5 hours in front, or maybe it's even more than that, 7 hours. So like 4 o'clock our time was like midnight over
it's like
there.
8 hours, because it's 9 from Winnipeg, so it's 8 hours. Sorry.
Valid. You tell, I mean, yeah, exactly. So yeah, okay, 8 hours away. So thanks for that. And I was just sitting there trying to log on, trying to get trading, and I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm in Rome. Like, I shouldn't be trading. So long story short, there was a firewall, was unable to connect to the platform. So I tried. I even went to the guy at the front of the desk. I'm like, what kind of business center is this? I can't even like log into my stuff back there in Canada. He's like, Canada, come on. What's going on over here? So anyways, at the end of the day, I was unable to trade. It was good because, you know, I was able to spend more time, and when in Rome, don't trade. So don't think about it. Enjoy your time. And if you have any questions, just message me. I'll give you a full rundown of what's going on in the market there. So, hey, for everyone today, including Miss Danielle Shay and Miss Adara, enjoy your time. You will be missed around here. But I'm going to be back tomorrow. Sorry about that. As will Neil, as will Sharif. But we have Obi as well. That will be on the midday show, so that should be a fantastic one. Long story short, let's wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a hell of a day. Good luck to everybody holding those longs, and we'll catch you in the morning. That's Adara. I'm Sean. Ciao.